What are we arguing about?
A man is gonna do what a man wants to do.
All on your wrist. Make you my wife, you no longer my bitch.
Let's get it. My name is Will. I'm the host of this show, the number one Polynesian podcast in the world.
Dripping in Versace. All these other hoes trying to copy.
Women tend to bounce around in relationships. They can't stick and stay in a long-term relationship.
Again, don't agree with this. Just
So let's say, are you still in it? Are you still in it?
no. So you're basically saying I'm a whore.
This content is not suitable for the children under the age of 18 without adult supervision. Please be advised.
So I just wanted to take the time and make this video to apologize to absolutely nobody.
So when can we drink?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another session of the Kava podcast, After Dark Session, live out in San Francisco on this beautiful night. As you guys can see, I'm joined with some beautiful ladies. We have a packed house. I think this is a record. I think we almost ran out of seats.
Okay.
But we have a packed house tonight. As you guys already know, we always talk about modern dating and relationships. As always, people subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much. You guys already know what to do. If you see value in the content, smash that like and subscribe button real quick. All right, I see you, Lord Punish, in the live chat. I see Team M. Hey, what's up, guys? Thank you for being the first one on the live chat. Let's get the live chat popping. And of course, don't forget, this is a public live stream. A lot of you guys reach out to me on Instagram and ask me, how do I join? I'm not from the Bay Area. So if you want to talk directly to the ladies, there is a way to do it. You have to become a supporting member of my locals. The link is in the description. Become a supporting member. You'll be able to get access to exclusive content on there. And also one of the perks, you get the link to be able to join on tonight's podcast. On the last 30, 45 minutes of the show, I'll allow you guys to come on and talk directly to the ladies. Okay, so fellas, you guys already know what to do. And of course, to all the supporting members on my locals, I appreciate you guys for always donating to my channel, supporting the channel. Every donation goes back to the podcast so I can give you guys the best quality content. All right. And of course, don't forget, just give a shout out to my sponsor, Wave Management. If you're looking for solar panels, if you're looking for a solar job to make $1,000 every single month, and if you're looking to fix your credit, all right, I think there's a lot of those things a lot of women would love to have in their men, okay? So definitely reach out to Wave Management. CEO Jordan will definitely hook you up and help you out. And of course, if you reach out to Wave Management to get those services, I'll definitely let them know that you got the information from the Kava podcast, Will Nakuzi. So definitely helping me out on that. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. All right. But let's get the live chat popping. We have some beautiful ladies here. So let me know what you guys think, what you see. All right. And of course, don't forget, if you want to share your voice and opinion, all right, we're going to have some deep discussions tonight. We have a great topic. All right. So if you want to share your opinions and be part of the conversation, drop it through a super chat. Look at the live chat. I pinned it to the top of the screen. Drop a super chat. I'll be able to put it on the screen and I can read out all your comments and suggestions and your questions and topics. Okay. And we can respond to you guys. So that way you guys are participating part of the podcast. So yeah, I know a lot of you guys have questions or topics. So if you have a question or topic that you guys want us as a panel to respond to, or if you have a specific question to these beautiful ladies, ask it through a super chat and I'll be able to respond to you guys and put it on the screen. All right, shout out to you guys. And of course, if you just want to donate to the channel for the sake that, just to support me and you love the content and the work that I do for you guys, drop a super chat and support. Thank you so much. All right, and of course, I see BNTFTW. I see you on the live chat. I know a lot of you guys are moderators in my live chat. So if you're a moderator, let's get everybody pumped on the live chat, get everybody engaged, get everybody to like and subscribe, and let's get it active. All right, don't be a ninja watcher. Don't be a creep. All right,
Okay.
don't just watch and don't say anything. Okay, it's a live stream, so participate, say something, whether you agree or disagree, whether you support or hate. I appreciate everything. I just want to hear from you guys. And I see Renee. Hey, you guys know Renee?
Hey, Renee.
Hey. Hey, what's up, Renee? Good to see you, Renee, on the live chat. And of course, if you recognize these ladies, if you as friends or family members, show some love in the live chat. Say hello. All right, say hello. Okay. All right. But besides that, that's pretty much all my YouTube stuff. I'm just trying to think. And yeah, Don't forget to like, subscribe. And I think that's pretty much all my YouTube stuff. Shout out to you guys one more time. I'll give you a special shout out to you guys on the live chat. All right, shout out to you guys. Thank you so much. And shout out to the panel. But that's pretty much it. That's all my YouTube stuff. Let's get the show started. Okay. All right, ladies. Before we drink some kava. Oh, you got it. Okay, I was looking for it. If we can go ahead, we have a lot of new faces here tonight, and we also have some familiar faces here. So thank you for making the time, as always, to be part of the show. We have a great discussion for you guys. But if you guys don't mind, go ahead and give yourself a quick intro for everybody out there. I'll start with you, Shamari. Go ahead.
My name is Shamari. I'm Caucasian. I'm 41, and I work full-time warehouse, part-time personal trainer, part-time model, and I am happily divorced, and I am not looking for anything.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Thank you so much.
Hey, yes, my name is Ebony. My Instagram is Ebony_eyes. I am Black. My age is 41. I am a full-time mom, and I am also a full-time dog breeder. And my status, I'm in a relationship, and I'm not looking for anything right now.
Okay. Thank you.
My name is Brandy. I'm Black and Puerto Rican. I am 29. I'm a caregiver and a phlebotomist. I am happily taken, and I am not looking for anything.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Candace. My ethnicity is Black and white. It's kind of the simple version. I'm 33. I work in construction as an admin, as well as finance on the side. I am happily divorced, and I'm not looking. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. I'm Gina. I am Latina. I'm 29. I'm a hostess. My status, I'm dating. And I guess long run, I would like to get married. So,
Okay. Looking for a husband. Okay.
Looking for a husband.
Hello, everyone. My name is Zaire. I am Black. I am 28 years old. Yeah. In my job, I'm a music data specialist, and I specialize in hip hop. So yeah.
Wow.
My relationship status, I am in a long-term relationship,
Nice.
and yeah, I guess.
Not looking. You're not looking.
Nobody's on the panel.
Hey, my name is Kiki. I'm Black, 24. I make skincare products. Kiki's Love Skincare on Instagram. Also make jewelry and clothes. Kiki's Creative Hands on Instagram. I'm single and not really looking for anything.
All right. Thank you so much, Kiki. Good to have you back. All right. Shout out to the ladies one more time. Thank you so
We're not looking.
Thank you so much, ladies, for the beautiful introductions. And show some love, live chat. I know you guys are watching right now, so show some love for the beautiful ladies here on the panel. All right, thank you so much. But ladies, you guys already know Kava podcast. Before we go right into it, we have to get some Kava flowing.
Yes.
Kava flowing
Yes.
into
I poured
our
mine
system.
already.
No, I didn't get any.
All right.
Oh, yeah, we've been on ours.
I was ahead.
He was ready.
I was trying to get some right now.
And I know for all the traditional Tongans out there, before you criticize me, I broke all my coconut cups, so that's why I'm using plastic cups. I know some of you guys, why is he using plastic cups? That's not the culture. Okay, I just had to bring that up.
Okay, right.
I just had to bring that
So
up.
bad.
All
Your
right.
accountability, okay?
That's accountability, right? All right. Setting the standard right here.
Accountability,
All right.
okay?
What is the name of the root that you
It's called Kava.
got? Oh, that's the name.
Yeah. So I know. Don't come for me on the live chat, okay?
And you know they was waiting.
Yeah. Fake American,
Lots of ladies in
fake Tongan.
relationships.
I don't
All right.
think yours either.
All right. There we go.
Wow, he gave me a decent amount.
Oh, okay.
I got the same amount.
Yeah, I don't know.
wow.
Oh, you already have some?
Oh, yes, I
okay.
was first to pour.
Me too. I was. Too. Well, we was ready.
Okay.
I was trying to.
We was
taste
about to
before
drink it
we went
before.
live. I was like, I need a little relaxation.
Accountability.
Breaking your coconuts.
And then to all the Kava drinkers out there, shout out to you guys if you guys are drinking late night.
He said pause.
All right. And to all the Kava drinkers, make sure you guys finish early and go home to your wives, man. Don't spend too long at the Kava club. All right. So traditionally, when we drink the Kava, to start it off, we always raise our cups and we always say something, words of endearment towards each other, and then we go around and then we'll drink it. Okay. So for me, my words of endearment: strong men, strong families, strong women, and I'm always a big believer in family. So that's my words of endearment.
Okay.
Go ahead, Kiki.
Positive vibes and constantly growing.
Yes.
Yeah, I just love people. I love individuality, how we're all different and special.
Yes.
Okay.
Blessed to be here, so I just want to keep growing with everybody.
I love that. Blessings to all of you guys, honestly, in this new year. Just starting it off right together.
Together.
I love it.
Okay.
Connections.
Yes. This year, I'm definitely about intention and to long-lasting marriages and
Facts.
bringing back positivity surrounding marriages.
Okay.
That's a good one. Good vibes, successfulness, happiness to everyone,
Yes.
and bless us all.
Okay.
Good health, good conversation, and comprehension.
Yes.
Facts.
Yes.
All right. And then just say Ofa
Alpha.
Atu.
Atu.
All right. Ofa Atu, y'all.
Atu.
Okay.
What's it taste like? Be honest.
Dirt water.
Dirt water.
Just like
yeah.
What have I been whispering all night?
I was like, like when you take a shot of Patron, you be like,
I have zero poker face. So I knew. I was like,
Not bad.
the earth.
Yeah.
This actually doesn't taste as bad as that one place that I went to because I can taste the grounds in it.
Different at the Kava bar.
Yes, yes. This is actually a lot smoother.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
very
That's
ground.
good to know.
Very,
I bet pregnant women, you know how some pregnant women crave dirt? Random.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I've heard of that.
But then
Yeah,
don't
I
they
never had
get
that
like a
problem.
It means
little-
you're lacking in minerals. If you're pregnant.
Oh. Yeah, y'all put me on
Okay.
tonight. I'm learning.
Good. I never craved dirt.
very earthy. Very earthy. Okay. And as always, shout out to you guys on the live chat, all the Kava drinkers out there. Shout out to you guys. Thank you so much. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And don't forget, if you want to jump on as a public guest, the link is in the locals account. The link is in the description. And of course, if you want to share your opinions or your voice, drop it through a super chat. And I'll be able to put it on the screen and read it out for you guys. But without further ado, let's get right into it, ladies. The topic we're discussing tonight is who lacks more accountability in their failed relationships, men or women. Okay, so one of the things I do see online, I do see a lot of men and women having conversation online. As we all know, it's hard for a lot of people to find strong, meaningful relationships and a strong partner. And I see a lot of lack of accountability from both sides. And what the men are saying the women lack accountability from their failed relationships and the men they choose. All right. But then the women are saying, you know what, the men are lacking accountability for not becoming and fulfilling their duties, become strong men, strong husbands, and be committed into their relationships. So there's a lot of pointing fingers, a lot of blaming. If you guys watch my podcast, you guys already know I'm a big believer in accountability for men. And I know from my personal view, I just want to put it out there for you guys to understand. I put 100% accountability on the men. I do not blame the women when the relationship fails. I know a lot of men on this space hate me for that when I say that. But in my perspective, if I'm the leader, I'm responsible for the relationship. Okay. I'm the one setting the standard expectation. I'm the one leading. And if you put in the work as men to become that type of leader for your woman, and woman respects you, then the relationship will work out. But for a lot of guys, they like to choose the wrong woman, but avoid accountability on that. All right, exactly right. They like to mess around with everything that moves, and they complain about why they're not attracting good women.
Yes.
But they also don't put in the work to know how to lead. You know, a lot of men think that just by default that I'm a man, that I'm a leader. Right? Leadership is not something you're born with. It's something that you have to learn and build. Okay, so, but that's my point of view. But I just want to share with you guys to understand where I'm coming from, and of course to the people watching my show. And also, I want to say something real quick to everybody that's watching right now. I know I have a lot of haters that always complain about my show. If you like to blame women, this is not the show for you. Okay, I know there's a lot of podcasts out there that like to blame women, but I'm all about accountability, especially with the men. I believe in strong men, strong families. So all the fellas out there, if you're looking here, if you're coming here for what's that word? Pity party. Yeah, if you're looking for a pity party to complain about why you're feeling in your relationship as men, this is not the podcast for you. But as always, you guys already know, I'm always open to have open conversations from the opposite sex, whether we agree or disagree. But I just want to make sure you guys understand my standpoint and where I stand as a man on this podcast. All right, so that's the conversation we're having tonight. All right, so yeah, but for all the whiners, the blamers, the victim mentality people, say hello in the live chat. I want to know who you are. Okay. All right. So, but
Accountability, they ain't gonna.
all right. All right. But anyways, I'm gonna play 2 clips from both representing both the men's side and the women's side about the lack of accountability in today's relationship. So we'll watch it real quick. We'll get to react to it. And then as I play these clips, let me know on the live chat as you're reacting to the clips as well. I would love to hear your thoughts about this. Okay, so let me play the first clip. Should we start with the women? I'll start with the men. We'll start with the men. Okay. All right. So video file. So this is the clip I saw, starting with the men. Okay.
To men who just want to be on the internet getting their shit off because their feelings are hurt. As men, we cannot expect to go far or have closer relationships with our women if we cannot take any accountability. All of this arguing, all of this back and forth on the internet about what women are doing wrong, if it's not about us getting closer to each other, then what are we doing it for? You cannot convince me that you really want to have a great relationship with a woman if you cannot then take accountability. If you are not able to take accountability, then you don't really want to love a woman. We need more men who actually want to love a woman because they understand how dope women are. And what's sad about that is even me saying that gonna make a nigga say I'm a simp.
All right. Yeah, that was facts right there. Okay. So yeah, that was the first video from the men's side. So yeah, I see Jabari Spears in the live chat. Good to see you, Jabari Spears. All right, appreciate you guys always in the live chat. So I see Lillian Carter for here. Thank you so much, Lillian Carter, for being on the live chat. So let me play the other video from tonight's conversation about the women. Okay.
Way y'all talk about us, ladies. I do. Y'all say we not. Y'all say we not smart. Y'all say we not smooth. So how do these that's not smart, not smooth, not keep finessing you? How? If it's not you, how do that's not smart? How do that don't got, don't do, don't give you? How they keep getting over on you? Who is it? If that's not smart, if we got no game, if we don't know how to cheat, who is it? Like I'm not trying to be rude. I'm saying y'all not vetting these, bruh. Y'all do invest. You let him tell you he got some plans for you, and you start investing immediately. Y'all don't require no type of evidence. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Like, who was you before you got here? What do you provide yourself? Do you feel safe in your own skin?
Hey,
like, what does that? Y'all don't have none of these answers from nobody, and then y'all come back outside and talk about it's a shortage. Beloved, you never had the answers to the test.
You went in.
That was a word.
Yeah, that was a lot.
All right. Shout out to tonight's conversation. Always dropping some good content. Okay. But he was cooking, right? He was cooking. It was cooking. Do you have a sound effect for that?
That with the whole PowerPoint and everything. click. You before.
All right. So but yeah, that's a conversation. We saw it from both sides. You know, there's a lot of men out there complaining that the women don't take accountability. And then also the women are saying that the men will take accountability. So let's have that honest conversation. What's your reaction to the video, and also what's your opening thoughts about the conversation tonight? Who lacks more accountability more, the men or the women? Okay, so we'll start from this side and then we'll go around the table. I'll start with you, Kiki. Go ahead. What's your opening thoughts?
Honestly, I would have liked to see a women talk about the women's side rather than a man. But I feel like it kind of goes both ways. Like if nobody's taking accountability, or if one person's not taking accountability, then the relationship is just going to fail in general.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think
Well, first of all, I think on the internet versus in real life, it's completely different. Like, when I'm on the internet, I see a lot of men complaining. And it seems like there's like a war between the genders.
Yeah.
Almost, and it's annoying. But in real life, it seems like people get along a lot more than on the. I think the internet is where people pour out whatever type of shit they're going through. They just get on there and just be like, women, da, 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 or men, da, 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 da. And it's like, bruh, yeah, like,
But it's never all each gender.
yeah. And so, yeah, I would say like, there's no way to know who lacks accountability more, but I will say that I see a lot of men complaining. I see a lot of podcasts that are specifically for complaining about women. And I think it's impossible to hold yourself accountable if you're too busy trying to hold someone else accountable or place them, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, you can't have a victim mentality,
No.
all right, and be accountable at the same time. That's true. Okay, Gina, go ahead.
Currently, I think that where we're at now, we can't blame a woman or a man. So it's like everybody needs to take accountability in their own shit. I think what we lack is communication. I think that's where a lot of this shit kind of goes right. And also like going back, love to hear a woman's perspective on like accountability now in like the dating pool. So
yeah. Okay.
Absolutely. I definitely feel like a lot of people want to say a whole lot of stuff, but not talk to actually understand and comprehend what other people are saying. They just want to talk to hear themselves talk, not necessarily talk to actually have a conversation, come to a solution and a resolution to fix an issue. And I definitely think that when you're constantly pointing fingers, you're not going to ever take accountability because you're always looking at what the other person in the relationship is doing rather than internalizing what you can be doing to make yourself better, to add more value to your relationship. So I definitely think that that is also kind of a big deal with accountability.
Okay.
All of that.
I think that accountability goes in both directions, I'd say. I feel like a lot of people tolerate things and then want to, you know, be like, oh, well, this, that, and the other. And I just feel like, it comes down to selection. And I feel like if you're, whoever you're choosing, you have to be able to see their actions follow, their words and their actions align. And so I feel like you're not being honest with yourself if the relationship has taken its course, whether it be a few weeks into it or a few months into it. And then it's just like, you're like complaining about this, that, and the other. But I definitely think that it's a two-sided thing. I think that some people don't even know how to take accountability. They weren't raised in environments that created a healthy boundary as far as relationship goes, whether that be a single parent household, mothers raising sons, or vice versa. I think that if you don't have a good example, it's hard to set that example. It's hard to be raw. It's hard to be vulnerable. So I don't know. I feel like everyone needs to take accountability. It's definitely not men need to take more accountability or women. I think that if everyone took accountability, the world would be a lot better place. So
It's easier, right?
that's my 2 cents.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to deal with their shit. So until you can be real with yourself, don't involve someone else into that. That's a shit show. And that's not fair. It's not fair at all.
Don't throw your shit on somebody else.
It's not fair. If you're not ready, you don't have those healthy boundaries and steps, keep it pushing.
Exactly.
So that's my 2 cents.
Me, I think it goes both ways. I agree with each lady and what they're saying. It's not a man, it's not a woman. Communication, you know, and then far as with the internet, people look to the internet, you know, pointing themselves as a victim. I think a lot of us need to take a step back and look at what we're doing wrong in a relationship versus what someone else is doing wrong. That's, to me, that's pretty much it. It's more communication, you know, taking a look back at what you're doing, you know, in a relationship, and just pretty much going from there, honestly.
It's both. Everybody's guilty. It's not just a gender, it's a person. There's 8 billion people in the world. So you can't say it's only men and it's only women not taking accountability. Absolutely. There's people of both genders not taking accountability for their shit.
Absolutely.
So
Okay. All right. Thank you, ladies. All right. So I know everybody shared and said it was both. Does anybody here want to just completely blame the men? It's okay.
I'm playing.
Actually, you know, I
Well,
do have to say the first part of what you said
Yeah.
before we went into the videos.
Yeah.
I do agree with part of what you said, just because of the fact that I have a Christian background.
Yeah,
So for me, a man is the leader. He's the head of the household.
Yeah.
He's the one that's going to be judged in the end, and
Yeah.
he's the one that has to lead the family.
Yeah.
So if he falls short of leading his family, then he's the one that really
Yeah.
has to be the one to take accountability. So there is a part of me that is like, yeah, I do feel a little bit more responsibility on the men's side.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it is all of us.
You know, that's the biggest thing I hear from a lot of guys, right? Is that they want to be leaders. And I always say, you know, if you want to be a leader, that comes with great responsibility, right?
It does.
So you have
A
to
lot
be
of
ready.
people don't know how to do it.
Yeah, you have to be
Mhm.
ready for that responsibility. So if you want your woman to follow your directions, if you want your woman to submit to you, follow your boundaries, move the way that you want her to act, then you have to be that type of man, right?
Yes.
But a lot of guys, you know, they want that type of woman, but they can't lead her.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to be a leader, the only time I disagree that the man, you don't blame the man if the man doesn't want to be the leader. But a lot of times when you have conversations with most men, they want to be, they want to lead.
They want to, but then they don't know how to.
Exactly.
You know?
Right.
And then you get a
They
strong
lead you
woman,
astray.
and they don't know how to tame that
Right.
woman.
But-
You know, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know where we're going. Baby, I want off. Like, no.
Like for instance, I was in a relationship for about 8 years, right? And I remember my ex-husband, God rest his soul, he used to always say, submit, you need to be submissive, you know? And then I used to be like, if you're not making me feel like I need to submit to you,
Exactly.
I'm not going to submit to you.
Mhm.
So then I didn't know what that was,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And then as I got older, I'm like, this is what submissive is, you know? And
Because
so
it's a
now-
natural thing. You can't
It
do
really
it. You gotta
natural,
act.
right?
It really
And it's just like,
is.
you can't force me. Like you have to, like you said, be
Right
that leader.
leadership.
You have to
It just
lead me,
falls.
and you
It
have to
falls.
also treat me and make me feel
Yeah.
like I
Yes.
want you to submit me. Because if you're not treating me like
Yes.
that, and then here it is, me. I'm coming from an independent woman where I'm doing everything on my own. And if I'm
Mhm.
continuing even being in a relationship with you and doing everything on my own, what am I being submissive to?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know if this is
Yes.
off topic.
No, that's on topic.
But at the end of the
Yes.
day, it's just like I'm looking at it and I'm like, so why am I being submissive to you? You know, because you're telling me to do something or because you want me to do something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now that I got older and then I know what that is, it feels really good. And now I'm just like, oh God, I'm submissive. You know what I mean? I'm like that person.
Sure, it comes
it's
naturally,
soft girl
too.
era.
Yes.
You know? I'm like, oh my God, like, you know, I'll buy my man flowers. And, you know? And then I got homegirls, they're like, I don't buy men flowers. I'm like, girl, you gotta treat your man just how
as good as
you got
he
to make
treats
him
you.
feel good too, because if you make him feel good, he's gonna make you feel better,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Same as women.
A
If
word,
a man
a
make you feel
word.
good, you're gonna go above and beyond. So I that submissive word, and like you said, being a leader, you have to show and you have to show up and you have to prove to be one. You can't just automatically, because you're a man, you're gonna lead me. You know what I mean?
But I think the confusion today, what I hear from a lot of men and the women as well, is a lot of men expect women to submit without earning it.
Exactly.
And the problem also for the women is you guys automatically submit without testing him to challenge him
natural.
to prove that he can be able to be the type of man worthy of your submission.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I think that's both the problems. Men don't know how to lead, but also women, you guys are automatically just submitting.
Mm-hmm.
If y'all like the guy on the tonight's conversation, he has to prove with clear evidence that he has ability to lead, then you submit.
Yes.
Right. You don't automatically just submit. Right.
Everything has to align.
Because I think we're just natural, you know.
Yeah. It's a natural thing within you
natural
as a
thing, but
feminine
once
woman.
you start
right?
making
Yeah.
us feel a certain type of way, skirt, we put the brakes on. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Real quick, I got some super chats real quick. Can I get some podcasts? Shout out to you, man. Thank you so much. All right. Can I get some podcasts? Super chat. Accountability test, ladies. What part did you play in the breakup of your previous relationship? Already. Ooh.
Damn, it's getting
That
spicy.
Okay. I'll take it too. But I don't want to put nobody on blast.
Hey, we're talking about accountability today. ladies.
I would take it. Okay.
I got the cat bun right here. Ready to go.
We'll all take it. I
right.
can hold accountability.
All right. So we'll
Oh, so
go down the panel.
Oh,
okay, so that's his question. He said that if we're saying that we're going to be more accountable for both men and women, so he's asking ladies, so your previous failed relationship, what part did you play? And then you realize that the problem that you played, what part that you played in the breakup of that relationship?
Yeah.
Ain't no answer.
Okay, so I'll start with you, Shamari. Go ahead.
So if we're talking about just general relationships that didn't make it to marriage, I didn't, other than the fact that I cut them off when I found out they were fake and cheating and doing all these other crazy things. So those I really didn't play the part. But what I will say with my marriage, because I got baked on that before on a previous podcast, is I would say I've always been the ride or die girl. So it's like, if my man's going through something, life chin checks us, I always step up. But I think in a way, I've also enabled people's bad behavior and lack of leadership because I didn't want to quit. So I was willing to step up and carry the more masculine loads for so long that eventually the man's like, well, if you can do it, I don't have to. So that's where being the independent person can cause, like to Tim's point, it can cause destruction in the relationship where either a man doesn't feel like you need the support, he doesn't have to lead you. And then you're just expected to be the wife, the mom, the protector and provider. And then I end up with the attitude, if I have to do everything, why are you here? And so then we're divorced. So, and there's a lot of other things. I won't go into those details, but as far as just basic characteristics, I'd say those were the main things that I contributed to the downfall, because I wasn't necessarily holding somebody accountable for what they were supposed to be doing. I was just like, okay, well, if you can't do it, I'm going to pick up the slack. These kids still need XYZ. So,
yeah. Can I ask you a question if you don't
Sure.
mind? Was there anything that the man was asking you to do that he needed from you in that relationship? Because we all understand relationships is reciprocal, right? You have needs as women, men, we have needs. So are there any things that the man was looking from you, but that you didn't fulfill to your best ability? And that also kind of led to the breakup of that previous relationship?
to my knowledge, no. The only thing I will say is because I've always been working and my ex-husband loved to cook. Cooking's the one thing I've never really got down with. I clean, I work my ass off, I take care of the kids, like nothing else was a problem, but he actually enjoyed cooking. So I never really had to. And then ever since then, I kind of do my bodybuilding thing. Like if you ask me to, like, if I'm dating you, I have to learn how you like your food and how to cook, prepare it for you. Like I can learn it. It's just not my forte. I don't like to, but I will do it. You know, that's not the problem. But I also will say is, you know, we come into where you've been in a relationship for a long time and you stop dating each other. So when you start to lose that one-on-one checking in with each other and making sure each other's okay, that also leads down to where now you're engaging in flirtatious behavior with other people. And I've never been a jealous female. I don't care if you have female friends. I don't care if you talk to females, but you shouldn't be talking to females in a way that you should only be talking to me. And then now there's a problem. And now it's a double standard because I'm like, okay, well, if it's okay for you to do it, it's okay for me to talk to people too. And now it's not okay for me to talk to people. So I was like, why is there a double standard? If I'm cheating, talking to a dude, and you're cheating, talking to females, you know, it's not a double standard for me.
Okay.
So I was like, if we either both don't do it or we both can do it and we're not going to talk about it. Like, you know what I mean? And so that of course leads to fights, which leads to other instances that leads to divorce.
Okay. Okay.
You know.
Okay. So yeah. So have you ever had that conversation with him and about things that you guys were lacking in both relationships? And I'm just playing the devil's advocate because I know a lot of guys are going to ask this question.
Of course.
But I know you said no one from your end. But was that no from your end, from your own self-reflection, or do you had a conversation with them and they said, hey, you know what? Is there anything that I'm lacking in this relationship that I need to improve on? And he said to you, no.
It comes down to our last conversation before we separated, where he basically told me I couldn't do it without him. That's the attitude I was dealing with when I had been the only person working and doing everything for the family.
Yeah.
And I just looked at him and I was like, bet.
Okay.
So that's how it ended. It wasn't nobody's needs being not met. His friends and his family, like the males, basically was like, you have a snow bunny with money, you don't have to work.
Yeah.
That's the attitude I was dealing with. So when I say too supportive, it's exactly that.
Yeah. And you mentioned infidelity happened.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that was okay. That makes sense.
And
Okay.
other things.
Yeah. Yeah.
What happens when you find out people cheat?
Yeah. All right. Thank you for sharing that, Shamari. We'll keep it moving. What did response to that question? What part did you play in your in the last failed relationship that you had?
I can't say because my relationship didn't fail. My husband passed away. My ex-husband passed away. So
yeah, that's different.
We didn't get there. But as she was saying too, I still can relate because if he wasn't sick, it probably kind of, who knows, it kind of probably would, just based on, like she said, it was more so, if you can do it, then why can't I do it? You know what I mean? It was like a double standard thing. So, but all that had just shut down, and I just had to worry about, the bigger picture and the bigger things, which was keeping him alive. So, that question really doesn't attain to me, really.
Okay.
But the relationship before, I was in a 13-year relationship, and we just, how can I say, we just grew apart.
Yeah.
It was more so of when I get into a relationship, I think long term and I think of things. And so being with him as I was 15, for me being basically 29, 30 years old, I'm like, is this what I want to do in a relationship? Like, I start, looking at things, and it wasn't, we just grew apart. So it wasn't anything bad. And of course, not trying to throw it on the fellas, but, it was, well, I'll just say cheating.
Y'all be cheating.
Because I feel like, having a conversation with another woman is inappropriate to me. How you doing? Like, I'm your woman. You should be worrying about how I'm doing, because if it was me saying, hey, how you doing? Good morning, handsome, that's automatically cheating. So it was just like, before it got really toxic, I was like, okay, I'm just going to pull back. And, we just grew apart basically, so that's for me.
All right. No worries. Pass it to you.
My last relationship, there was a variety of things of why it didn't work, but I definitely feel like we were not attentive to each other's needs.
Yeah.
I think that we were speaking different love languages, and I don't have much experience with dating. So, I'm trying to give ideas on how we can better this relationship so that it can be longevity. And that it went in one ear and out the other. So it's like, I think our willingness to my willingness was there. I didn't feel it on the receiving end. But I definitely think that we were not fulfilling each other's needs. And if I'm being honest, it was like that from the beginning. I just chose to overlook it in hopes that it could change with time. But yeah, I think just a lack of each other's needs. And
how long was the relationship?
It was about a year.
Okay. Not too long then.
And yeah, it did not work out. Our love languages were very different. And I remember trying the ways that I knew how to love someone, and I don't feel like it was reciprocated. And then he was asking of things for me, and I'm just like, no, like
you weren't there.
That's not how I express it. So I don't know. I definitely think love languages plays a huge part, and incompatibility, just because it's like, if someone's love language is acts of service and my love language is words of affirmation, physical touch, how could they receive that if theirs is acts of service or gifts?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gifting you. Like, I'm trying to tell you that I think you're fine. Like, you're my man. But you're not getting it. Like, damn, you look fly. Like, you're just not getting it. So
that's one thing
I don't know.
In dating that I learned. I'm like, I know people be like, she's weird, but I'm like, so what's your love language? Because I'm like, I need to know.
It is a real thing, and I've never realized it until my last relationship. And I'm like, wow, I don't ever want to experience this again.
Yeah.
Like, and you should definitely have that conversation, because how people receive it and how people give love, it just
so different.
it plays a part. And if they're lacking in the beginning, you think that maybe with time it'd change. No. No.
And their background, because if they're not receiving it from, you know, a parent, or if they don't know how to give it.
Yes. It's not in
because
them.
I've been
It's
through
not
it, and I'm like,
in
I'm
them.
trying. I'm like, oh, you never been loved
be
like
somebody
this
else.
before.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you know, and then it'd be like, why are you treating your son like that? I'm like, I love my kid. My kid's gonna know how to love a woman. And but they never received it on their end. So I can't really blame you. And I'm just trying. It takes some years, and I'm like, you know what?
Yeah, I definitely had cultural differences too. Like very different. I definitely I take ownership because I definitely played a part too. So
Okay. All right. Passing to you, Candace. What part did you play in your previous failed relationship?
So, I usually, damn, I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out how I want to say this, because usually I talk very carefully, because I'm not one who likes to talk negatively about my relationship because I have children with them. So I'm very, very careful with my words.
That's fair.
So it's not because I don't want to.
Trying to find the word.
I'm trying to figure out how I want to say it respectfully.
Yes.
But I was married to my high school sweetheart. We were together for a little over 12 years. I'm going to say this very, very carefully, because this word is thrown around a lot and it is not accurate, but he was a textbook narcissist. I am an empath, so it was all bad. I think that the part that I played in the relationship was being unconditionally in love with someone who was no longer there. Because I fell in love with the man who I grew up with all through high school. But once we had children, once we were older, it just, I wanted something to work that he no longer could give. It was no longer him. It wasn't in him. He was not the same. And, you know, I had it in my mind, you know, oh, this is just the beginning stages of our marriage. You know, we got kids in the mix too. Like, I had it in my mind, like, we're going to get through this. I have a very strong faith base in marriage. And for me, like, I did not want to fail. But then I had to come to terms and acceptance that it is two ways. Like, I can't force something that's not there. And if I would have been honest with myself, and been honest with just the situation and where it was at earlier, then I probably would have saved myself a lot of heartache and been a little bit more at peace. Thankfully, because the fact that we did have that friendship foundation first, you know, we have a very great co-parenting, but I definitely feel like if I would have taken accountability in myself and really internalized and, you know, just looked inward at what I needed. I definitely feel like I would have probably helped the relationship a little bit better, but yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you for sharing that.
Is there women on here?
All men.
And she cheated, so okie dokie. Like, are we supposed to put up with somebody cheating? So the thing is, sorry, I don't mean to cut y'all. No, I just hate the fact that it's okay for men to do it, and it's not okay for women to do it. I don't care if the emotions is like, oh, well, you guys are so emotionally attached, and yeah, we're emotionally attached to you too.
But
so why do you think that we want to?
And women can't. It's like they don't believe that women can have sex just to have sex. They think that like we have to be in love with them. Like I don't know why they always say, oh, for the men, it's not emotional. For you guys, you're in love with.
Can
like,
the women hit it and quit it? Yes, honey. The women can hit it and quit it.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch this.
Okay.
Sorry. So, do you mind if I respond to Vin real quick?
Okay.
Because I just saw what he said. It's a little bit hard to see because it's like down
That's what I.
But I just want to say, when you're not working together, then yes, somebody else can change, and you're not going to realize it if you're constantly being the one that's growing, but they're staying stagnant in the relationship in their own mindset and stuff. Then yes, he did change because he stayed the same, whereas I was wanting to improve our relationship, and he was more worried about having a second household with somebody else.
Yeah.
So yes, he did change, and I finally was honest with myself about the situation.
And
So
just ladies, I mentioned before, it's the live chat. They're just gonna.
Okay.
They're just trolls, you know. So some of them have good. Some of
You
them have
grow
good.
together, you grow apart.
Yeah, some of them have good, some of them have good fair statements on the live chat. Some of them are just here to troll. So, you know, it is what it is.
Troll on.
We'll just keep it.
Keep it moving.
We'll keep it moving. All right. But I'll pass it to you, Gina. Same question. What part did you play in your last failed relationship?
Let's see. So my last failed relationship, well, I wouldn't say all of them were failed because I've only been with, I guess I've only had 3 boyfriends.
Mm-hmm.
I would say coming into like my adulthood, we were figuring some stuff out, and I would say I would enable him with just kind of letting him, you know, get over on me. I was like so young, so there was a lot of shit that I was learning.
Mm-hmm.
I also have a health condition, so when I would get sick, like he was there to like kind of like nurse me back to health. But then now that I'm like not with this person no more, I'm like, he wasn't really doing the job. He kind of was just there to make sure, like, you know,
Safe for you.
yeah, to be safe on all ends. But as far as like, you know, me being young and like not really knowing no better, now that I'm older, I'm going to be 30 this year. So it's like, I have these standards. I know more or less what I want out of relationships. I know the red flags now. When I was in the relationship, it was just like, I have these like thoughts in my head, like, oh yeah, no, we still have this potential to be something that we're not. So it was just, it was very young.
You fell in love with potential.
We all have
exactly.
I think
We can't go with potential. You
At
gotta
least
deal
one
with the person where they at.
Yeah.
How are you making me feel now? What are you doing for me now? What are you bringing to the table?
You know, like I said,
So
we're
I was just in love with the love that was not
of what
there.
could be.
Yes. And I stayed for way too long. I was in that relationship for 5 years. Like it.
Because I think it'd be like, oh, the ride or die, you know? And now that we're older, it's like, I ain't finna die or ride for nobody.
Baby, let me off. Let me off down the street. I'll walk.
It needs to be, you know, it needs to be smooth sailing, you know, because we're older
Life is too
now.
short.
And then you're still young still, you know, but that's good that you even thinking like, okay, red flag, red flag. You know what I mean?
You know,
Because,
like, and like being able to like live on my own, I'm just like, this shit is
it feels
crazy.
good.
Yes.
But don't it feel good, girl?
You have your own shit, and I'm just like, my titties are out. Love it.
It
Like,
feels good.
I don't have to deal with nobody.
So guess what? When you do get that man, it's gonna be so hard because he's gonna have to prove that he's gonna have to prove that he can do what
you're already doing.
What you're already doing plus
Add
more. Not
value
saying
to
that I
that.
need you to do more,
Yeah.
but I need you to bring to the table what I what. So what are you bringing?
Yeah,
that
what
I
are you
already don't
bringing to
have?
the table?
And that's vice versa, even for women, kind of too. But like you said, men want to be the leader, so yeah, go on lead then. But at the end of the day, yeah, like,
I go on leave. Well, when I'm able to like get, you know, in my soft girl era,
back to your soft girl era.
then
Girl, you
then
gonna
I'll
love
be
it.
ready, and then we can have those like healthy communications. And I'm
Girl,
ready
you
to
don't
rock.
even know what's gonna swoop up on you. You're gonna be like, girl, I'm 30 and my soft girl. Nah.
Get my shit blown back. But that was my little tidbit on accountability and what I took part in my last relationship.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Gina. We'll keep it moving.
Okay.
Same thing for you.
Before I answer the question, I just want to say, like, y'all saying it's cap when women are like, oh, I was too supportive. Oh, I enabled too much. Oh, I stayed too long. But that's what y'all be saying about us. That's what dude just said in the clip. Y'all say, oh, you guys deal with the wrong man. You're submissive to the wrong man. And then you blame all men. So it's like, how is it cap when we're saying it for ourselves?
Right, it's our
But that's what y'all say about it. Y'all say like, oh, you doing this and that for a man that does nothing for you.
But those
That's what we're
those
saying.
comments are coming from somebody who said he's not ready to provide and protect. He's not ready to put his life on the line. So
Yeah, so
take it with a grain of
yeah,
salt.
I don't think it's capping. I don't think it's like reversing it. I think that's real. Women do that a lot. Women deal with a lot and don't know how to put up boundaries. It's a common thing. So yeah,
definitely.
But But yeah, to answer the question, so I haven't dated that much because I've been talking to the same guy since high school, but we have broken up before. And some of the things that I took from the breakup that I had to change and that I learned, one was communication. So like on both ends, like if there's something that I need that he's not providing, I'm kind of quiet about it. Like even asking for help, asking for any type of thing. And then I'll be mad at him for not doing it. Like, but I don't, at the moment I'm not mad, but it's like things are slowly piling up. And then when we argue, I'm like, you know, dude, he's like, but you never said anything.
Yes.
So it's like,
Yes.
it's like me trying to be patient and trying to like, oh, I don't want to ask for too much.
Yes.
Like, and I found out kind of like when I ask for things or when I'm more vocal, he responds to that. So,
that's good.
you know what I mean? Like I didn't feel
Some
safe
don't.
doing that.
Yeah.
So that's
okay.
something now when I have an issue or I have a problem, like I talk to him about it. It doesn't have to be an argument. It used to be, but both of us learned like we attack the problem, not each other. So like,
Yes.
so does it feel good
That
to
is
you?
powerful.
If I'm telling him like I feel like you this and that,
Yes.
he's not gonna take it personally.
Yes.
Like you're blaming me for this. Well, and fight back. It's like okay, there's this problem, and we're both working to fix it. You know what I mean? So yeah, those are two things that I learned, and then yeah, that's probably the main things like communication.
That's like the biggest thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like a communication.
And doing things without asking too, like things for him. Like I do things like you were saying with the love languages. The way I show love is not necessarily how he receives love, and vice versa. So we'll both be feeling like, oh, I don't feel like you're loving on me, and it's like, what do you mean? I've been doing this.
Yes.
But it's like that's not.
It's not how it's being received.
So me knowing he likes certain things and just deciding like instead of waiting until he asks, like, okay, I'm gonna do this because I know he likes this. Like,
That's a beauty too. Honestly, if I feel like if there's two willing parties, even if you guys do have different love languages, if you're willing to go outside of that to cater to that,
exactly,
that is something
It's
that is
beautiful.
it can be beautiful, and that's something that I struggled with. It was just like that's not my love language. Like
yeah, same.
if you're not receiving it how I'm giving it, like it takes a lot for you to cater to someone if they're not lining up with you. So that's huge.
That's why I was going to ask you, like, how did you feel after you knew what your problem was? Like, did it make you feel better? And then now are you real more vocal?
It
like,
made me feel better
in
but-
your previous relationships. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
it made me feel better. But what I didn't like about it is kind of I had to like lead that. Like I had to do that for him to take accountability. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So instead of being able to tell him like this bothers me or this and that, I had to like let him kind of like be an asshole and show him like, see, I'm not being an asshole. We can just be an asshole.
okay.
And he's like, oh, I get it. You know what I mean? Like, and then like they say like men like to be leaders. I would kind of like to have like if he was more emotionally mature, because I feel like I'm more emotionally mature, and it's kind of like I'm like teaching him, which is frustrating. But yeah.
Yeah.
Are you guys the same age or is he older?
He is 6 years older than me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Pass it to you, Kiki.
For me, I feel like not being strong enough on my boundaries, and then also like holding back on my words because not wanting to not wanting to hurt feelings. Yeah, also kind of like a combination of what all you guys said. Like I'm an empath as well, and then yeah, just really not being able to speak up on certain shit because I feel like I'm gonna hurt his feelings or I'm gonna start an argument. But that type of I put me first now. Fuck that.
Girl.
Yes.
If I hurt your feelings, I'm sorry, but
It
I
just
kind
be
of
like,
worry about myself.
Don't be so
more
hard
so
to
now.
love a woman. I don't.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Not if you're leading properly. It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think there's another super chat.
Yeah, there
There was. Okay. All right, ladies. Thank you for responding to that question. And another super chat from Damien. Shout out to you, Damien. Thank you so much for the super chat. A lot of we and not enough I. What you do? Okay.
A lot of we and not enough
We
I.
just said a
What did
lot
you
of
do?
I, right?
So
We love it in the background.
So let me. I know what Damon's talking about because that was my follow-up question after listening to all you guys, right? And as always, shout out to you guys on the live. I see some new names. I see Red Pill Monster on the live chat. Shout out to you, Red Pill Monster. All right, thank you so much for being on the live chat. let's get the live chat popping and let me know what you guys think. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, don't forget, this is a public live stream. All right. So I know I see a lot of you guys talking on here. If you want to jump on at the last 45 minutes of the show, become a supporting member on my locals, and you'll be able to click on that link and jump on. All right.
Which is a love language. You better know it.
Yeah.
And also,
I feel like
also, if you're watching this in the live chat, any of the fellas from the previous relationships, fact check. Let me know. Let me know from your side as well. But I want to offer you the position of the females, because I understand what Damien was saying. So I just want to give you their position. So when we talk about accountability, right? So when you take accountability for something, that means you're willing to admit that you did something wrong, even at the cost of making yourself look bad, because you realize, like, I wasn't wrong. That was my fault. That was on me. And that's how men interpret accountability, right? So I have conversations with a lot of men that have fully taken accountability, and they admit it. You know what? I didn't know how to lead. All right, that was on me. You know, that looks bad on him. Or, you know what? I couldn't provide a protector. I wasn't a strong enough financial supporter. I didn't give her the best lifestyle. I wasn't communicating my needs. So what the men are saying is, when men take full accountability, we're willing to admit that it's our fault, and even at the cost of us looking bad to other men, also to other women. But that's what accountability means, that you take full responsibility, regardless of how people are going to perceive you. It is what it is, but it is your fault, right? So what the men are saying is, from a lot of the answers that you guys were giving, and I'm just giving us the feedback of what the men are saying. When women take accountability, you use certain phrases and certain words that really doesn't
direct it
towards yourself.
It's because, sorry, but it's because y'all be cheating. So a lot of these women went by, you were stupid, like, oh, I did this and that, and he was cheating on you.
No,
like,
look. No, I don't know. I understand. Like, I'm not here to.
I'm just telling them that's why.
Yeah. I'm not here to disagree with your answers, because everything you guys said, that's your experience, and I wasn't there in your relationship. I'm just giving you because we're having the conversation about accountability. So we need to have this. It's a hard conversation to have, right? Admitting your faults, admitting that you were in the wrong. It takes a lot of maturity and responsibility for somebody to admit that, right? So, and if we can have more of that, but I'm just presenting you from the conversations, because I did read your answers, right? From your responses, it was too supportive, grew apart, speak different languages, textbook narcissist, all right? So from the men's perspective, nothing's fallen on you. Like, nothing's directed to you, that it is your fault.
The guy is what's falling.
I also just want to say, maybe necessarily it wasn't your fault, right? Because like, nobody here, even though the live chat was there in your relationship, right? There are some relationships it can be 100% somebody's fault, right? If somebody cheated and the other person didn't cheat, then it's the other person's fault because you didn't cheat, right? So I don't know your relationships. We're here to have a conversation about accountability, but I just want to present what the men are saying. Was there anything that you did specifically, even at the cost of making yourself look bad, but you've already taken accountability for? I don't care how people perceive me, but I know for a fact that this was my fault, and this is one of the reasons why the relationship didn't work out. So I'm just presenting you that part, but that's what Damien is saying. So I put it again for you guys, and anybody who just want to. If you don't want to share, that's fine. But is there anything that you did specifically that you know that it was my fault? I did this specifically, and that added to the cost of the relationship, both feeling from both his part and my part as well.
Well, I think she said it herself. She said it was on
Everybody
both parts.
said-
She said it was
Yeah.
because of the love language. And
and I
she
think our
said that
needs
she was
too.
trying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I was going to say, I was unwilling
Yeah.
to give him what he was asking. He was unwilling to give me what I was asking.
Yeah.
And then another huge part of it was love languages. I was unwilling to give him his love languages because that was completely, his was acts of service. He wanted me to cook. Like,
yeah.
So it's like,
I don't know.
So
like,
it's like they want to
Oh, so you
like,
didn't-
oh,
My thing
I
is that is a specific answer. Saying that you lack boundaries and you let someone walk over you is taking accountability, and that can make you look dumb. Like, if you're saying you're dealing with a textbook narcissist, you can't say this is my fault why the relationship failed, because your fault that you're taking is for letting that relationship go on. Which I was saying earlier, that's what y'all be saying
that's
women
exactly
do.
what
But then
she
you're mad at
just
us for
said.
saying that we
I was
do it.
unwilling to.
That's
I
what it is.
but
Like,
I
it don't make
can't go further. I can definitely go
Yeah.
further.
Yeah.
It
just
definitely
that there's
was
a
like
respect.
much further back
Yeah.
because if I,
Yeah.
like I said originally, if I was being honest with myself, the relationship would have never even. But then again, I wouldn't have my kids.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I've obviously accepted what's happened, but
Yeah.
if I really look, at it and make myself look bad, what I did was I was just like my dad, and my dad was is there was a period where both my parents almost divorced just because, and there was a lot of stuff that I saw and the way that my father talked to my mom in certain situations where he was just adamant, like, I don't have to change for you. I'm not changing for you. And there was a lot of parts of me in our early stages of our relationship where I was adamant, like, I'm not changing for you. This is what I want to do. I want to go to college. I want to go to this college. I want to do this. And you're not going to stop me to do that. That's what I want to do. Like, I'm not going to allow you to, try to keep me from what I want to do, my dream. And so there was just, and I mean, that's just one example.
Yeah.
But, and then on the other side, like expressing different areas of our relationship with my parents in the early stages. So they were privy to certain things that caused them to change the way that they viewed him. And he was privy to ways that my dad was towards me, which changed the way that he saw him. And so just like the whole family dynamic was just, it wasn't right. And I feel like there was a lot of growing. I mean, we were kids, so it was definitely a first relationship, literally first relationship. He was my first.
Yeah.
And it just, it just was a lack of maturity in the relationship and not really understanding the love that we had and how to love each other properly and respectfully.
Yeah.
And so I definitely feel like I really took that to heart in how I move with any other relationship, which is one of the reasons why I'm just kind of not looking, because I feel like you can't really find what's meant for you.
Yeah.
You have to attract what's meant for you.
Exactly.
At the end of the day. So I hope that is making me look bad, I guess.
And this is why, that's what I'm saying. I said, like, are y'all deaf? I said, I wasn't communicating with him. I said, I wasn't asking for things when I had a problem.
right?
I said, I wasn't doing things that he loved or that he liked without him asking.
Not to be
How is that
not to be fair, out of everybody's responses, your response in my assessment was the more accountable one. That you were that you put yourself in a bad light, but that's accountability. You admitted, you know what, I did these things and that led to the failure of my relationship, right? So to be honest, I'm just gonna keep it real. Like your response was, I think, was the most accountable one, right?
I wasn't willing. And he wasn't willing, so it's just like
It's like
both not willing. I guess it's over.
Like we were saying, it's not a man. It's not a man.
That's
or
a real
woman,
answer.
That's
a real answer. And it's
Yeah.
like I said, men say that all the time about women. So why is it unbelievable when we say it about ourselves?
Yeah.
And then when a man do say, or when they do hold their self accountability for something, and then we just say, oh, okay, and we think, oh, okay, well, he held his self accountability and we're cool with it. They go right back to doing the same ass thing. So it's like, how many times you're gonna be, held accountable for the same shit? So it end up being this part. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like it's cool to be accountable, but like if you're gonna keep doing it, what's the point?
What's the point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I feel like, I'm sorry, I feel like when I was looking and they're like, oh, they're cheating, whoop-de-doo, whatever. And it's like, for women, that's the biggest thing. Like, as far as cheating, that's just really kind of where it breaks up.
Yeah. I mean, can I ask you guys a question? So, I mean, you guys all talk about your previous relationships. There's some relationships that it's evident that one person caused the failure of the relationship, right? So if one person cheated and the other person didn't cheat, that's clear. Like there's no conversation. You cheated, and then that person's like, no, I don't want to be in this relationship, right? So that's not even a conversation.
Okay.
But I think what the men are saying is in most cases outside that specific situation, usually both parties are lacking in the relationship. You're both not getting what you needed. You're not communicating your expectations. You're not resolving these issues. Most people, they don't want to face the conflicts and the reality of the relationship, so you kind of just delay it and hope that it works out. But then eventually it's going to add up over time.
So much.
It adds up over time and it blows up, right? So what the men are saying is, no, if your relationship was evident that one person clearly failed in the relationship, then I can accept that. But what the men are saying is, in most cases, in most situationships, because the relationship is a two-way street, it's not a one-way
Yes, it
street.
is.
It's reciprocation. Both parties are participating in the failure of the relationship. Now, even though, in my perspective, that's the leader's job to realize if the direction relationship is failing, that's your job as a leader, is to fix it, to sit down with your woman and have communication like, okay, we need to fix this because we're not going the right path.
Some
all right?
relationships also
All
aren't
right.
supposed to work out though. Like
That's
there's
true.
a difference between forcing
And that's
things to
why-
work and working on shit to make the relationship better. You don't have to force every single relationship. If it ain't working out, it ain't working out.
And that's what I'm saying. Even the wording of it, like
your
your failed relationships,
yeah,
like it's like
some relationships don't. It doesn't
it don't have to
a
be
failure.
bad.
Y'all could break
Exactly.
up on
And be
like,
perfectly
my
fine.
parents divorced. Completely.
And that's why there's a lot of when you're talking about relationships, it's gonna be
It's
a
a
we
lot- it's a
because
relationship.
it's never like you said, unless it's a clear thing, like they cheated on you and then you broke up with them. There's never gonna be like, oh, it was completely my. There's always gonna be like
Some
we
sort
weren't
of-
seeking each other's love
Exactly.
language. We grew
Yeah.
up like it's gonna be that.
So I agree. I agree with exactly what you said, but all I'm just presenting why a lot of these guys are feeling this type of way in the live chat, because when women want men to be more accountable, women want to hear the man say it was my fault. That's what women want to hear from the man. And then when the man,
Not if it wasn't their fault.
I'm just speaking in general.
That's what they wanna hear.
For most women, when we talk about accountability, I'm sure that what you guys want the men, what you want to hear from the men saying, I did this wrong. It was my fault. That's what women generally want to hear from the men. All the men are saying is, if you want that 100% accountability from my side, it would be fair to reciprocate that you are willing to do the exact same thing. But a lot of times, women don't want to admit it was 100% did wrong on this. But then you guys will use certain words and phrases to make it seem like it was a we thing, to make it seem like it wasn't really
Shying
your
away
fault.
from maybe yourself or deflecting.
Deflecting. So
I'm a
that's,
realist,
I'm just
so
offering.
I'm
I'm
gonna
just
keep it real.
I'm just
I'm gonna be
presenting
like,
that
listen,
part.
it's
So,
me, it's not
I
you,
don't-
because that's my thing now.
Yeah,
It's
I feel
me,
like
it's
all
not
of us are
you.
pretty honest.
Right.
Like,
And so
Yeah.
basically, you guys want us to basically like ignore
No, what I'm saying is we don't know your
or
relationship.
just only
So
focus on.
no, what I'm saying is I don't know your relationship. So if it was a we thing, great. If it was just one person that was self-evident that they fucked up, it wasn't your fault. That's fine as well, because that is real too. But in most situations, both parties, if you're both not getting what you want, that relationship is going to fail.
I mean, yeah, like I said,
But what they're saying is what the men are saying, we just want equal accountability. If you want me to say I didn't know how to lead, I couldn't support you, I didn't give you that love, I didn't communicate, I couldn't be a great leader for you. If you want me to 100% say that, I expect you to say the same thing for the things that you didn't provide for me. So, but a lot of times women won't admit that, and that's where that's why we have this conversation. That's why men are blaming women online. That's why women are blaming men online, and that's why we have this. You mentioned the gender war. Who said that?
Yeah.
There's gender wars, right? So all the men are saying, just be upfront, ladies. Say I messed up because I didn't do this, and we also understand we messed up on certain things. So we're gonna admit to it. But if you want me to admit to everything, I need you to come bring that same energy. But what the men are saying, they don't see that from most women. There's some women doing that, and that's why we're having this conversation. I do see a super chat from Sophisticated Jerk. Shout out to you. Thank you so much. Showing support and great conversation. Shout out to you, Sophisticated Jerk. All right. Thank you so much, man. Sophisticated Jerk. As always, don't forget, this is a public live stream. I know I see a lot of you guys on the live chat. If you guys want to jump on, we're having a conversation about accountability. So, fellas, if you want to jump on and be part of the conversation, the link is in the locals account, and you can be able to jump on the last hour. So, I just want you guys to respond to that. I just express how the men are saying from their side. But what do you guys think about that?
from what they're saying.
Yeah, like it's not.
I think
it's more. You want the men to be 100%, which I believe in. Men need to be 100%.
So basically, so we're in a wrong if we're saying that the men is wrong. Basically,
No.
So they want us to. How can I say it? Like I didn't got time.
Let her find her word. Hold on.
But I'm like, hold on, wait. So basically, they're just saying it's all towards the men. But I honestly think as a woman, we're more honest. And well, I can't speak for all women. I speak for myself. Now that I'm older, I think even then, like I mentioned, I was in a relationship for 13 years and we just grew apart. And it was my decision to be like, okay, this chapter is closed and I'll take a whole accountability for walking away. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Because it was both. It didn't even matter if it was him or if it was me, I would say. But I knew what I felt and I knew what I didn't want. And so I hold myself accountability because I'm like once said, I can't give you what you want. You're not giving me what I need.
Yes.
So then I'm going to have to remove myself.
I
So
definitely
now
second that.
who's
Yes.
who's
I was
holding
willing to walk away
accountability,
too
you
from
know what I
mine. I
mean?
was like,
And
we're
I'm
not
like,
catering to each
yeah.
other at this point.
So
I
I
don't
think
see
it's
a
best for-
resolution.
and then that doesn't make it necessary. Like somebody said, you're not. It's the relationship didn't end on bad terms. It was just that we're not for each other. You know. So at the end of the day, it's just like, and like she said, the red flags. Like now that I'm older, I did a whole bunch of, I don't know how many red flags that I just kept going green on, you know. And now that I'm older, it's just like I feel like I was dating, you know, I had a good little run of dating this year. First time ever dating, right? Not a lot of people, I mean, I'll say a lot of people, but a couple of people. And now that I'm older and I have children, those red flags, like after the one, I don't have time to stick around for the 2, 3, 4, 5 because I have kids that I need to raise. You know what I mean? So it's like,
say it again.
It's like that one red flag. If it's a real big red flag, it's just like, you know what? This not gonna work for us. I think, you know, you should go your way. It's not, you know, it's just not working.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, that's communication.
Yeah.
You know, I know what I want. You know, and I expect someone at my age that I'm dating to know what they want as well.
Yeah.
And if I ain't what you want, please exit. You know what I mean? Just like how I would exit to you, you know?
One thing I also noticed the difference between men and women. So what you're hearing right now is women being accountable for dealing with situations that they shouldn't have dealt with, right? And I think that when women do that, they look inward in themselves like, oh, I was lacking boundaries or I chose wrong, this and that. But I think a lot of times what men do is they will blame women, like women are this, women are that. And it's like, so that's where it's like, oh, women lack accountability. So now you're looking at everything through that lens of women lack accountability because somebody hurt you and you're looking outward instead of within. And that's like a scientific fact. Like women are more likely to, if they're on an emotional edge, they're more likely to hurt themselves and men are more likely to hurt others. Like, no, that's literally, there's a study on it online. So I think it's like you're when something's absolutely your fault and you cheated, yeah, men can be like, oh, I did this and it was wrong. But when it comes to like choosing the wrong women, the blame goes to the women, not to the men for how they choose. But when women do that, they're like, oh, that's your fault, you chose wrong. So I think that's where the difference is, and that's why they can't see that women are holding themselves accountable right now by saying that
we stayed too long.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's put up with bullshit we shouldn't have put up with.
I think you're ever evolving in a relationship too.
I should have called the cops. I should have got divorced sooner. My bad. I gave the man a chance.
It's that ride or die thing. You know what I mean? Like, that's going out the window.
I did.
Ride or die no more.
You talk about ride or die in the first part.
And that's why I say, like, I'm the type of person
right?
that's like, I don't want to die.
Yeah.
The hell I gotta die for? I got questions about that. I want to know where we're going, why I gotta die. But no, it's like I've always been that very supportive person, so it's very easy for me to get caught up in the potential, and then you get sold on potential before having sufficient evidence, which is what all those viral videos we watched were just talking about. So everything we've been saying supports, but now they're saying we're deflecting.
I have a
speak the language.
Yeah, I have a quick question for you guys. In the beginning phases of your relationship, right? Was there any red flags that you saw?
Yes. And we still chose.
You're still not being accountable, honey. You saw the red flag and you stayed.
Okay.
Yes.
So
they was looking a little green.
Right.
A little bit.
From over here.
Maybe they could change with time.
Okay.
And love.
So
man.
So when you start reflecting, really look deep into your relationship, especially for women, right? You know, sometimes there's red flags, and then sometimes you see all the things that you complain about the men did not do or he was lacking. You saw that in the beginning, right? So for one of the things that men, one of the things that men would appreciate, okay, if you take accountability, what they're saying is you don't really hear a lot of women say, you know what, I saw all these things in the beginning, that's on me, that's my fault. and I gotta choose better. I gotta
That's
choose
not what
better.
everybody just said. Yeah, that's what
But
everybody
those weren't the words that was spoken.
Well, they want you to say
I'm not. I don't know how to
Because
say
it's
those
coming from
specific
They can
words.
hear it now. Now that he said it, they
Yeah.
can hear it, even though that's what we all just said.
No, so that's all I'm saying. Look, we have to choose both. We have to choose better, both the men and the women. You know, there has to be a vetting process, and tonight's conversation. That's why he was, going hard on those women. Like, you guys talk about all these problems about your men.
I was definitely one of those people.
Right?
Like,
Yeah, but
and I've learned so much from my previous relationship that I was just tolerating and dealing with someone to try to be with someone. I was willing to do everything under the sun without getting any effort in return.
Yeah.
Trying to please, trying to love someone to love me back.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I feel like with time, everyone grows and learns what it is that they want.
Yeah.
And whether you're in a relationship, whether you're single, when you tend to step up to that and like, hey, this is what I need. When someone's not willing to reciprocate it, what do you expect me to do? Just stay here?
Yeah.
Right.
You want me to be stagnant? You want me to be loved incorrectly? You want this? You want that? So what is my only option? It's to leave.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm expressing something to you, I would hope the same too. If you're expressing something and I'm not willing to do it, we can't meet each other or we're not hearing each other. It's not working. I don't.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So I mean, that's what from tonight's conversation he was saying. As women, if you keep running into the same types of men, and you're complaining about these men, then it will come down to your selection process, right? Why is your selection process? Is it high? Is it low? Are you putting effort into it? Because if you're tracking the same thing,
I was about to say, I'm like,
self-evaluate. Ultimately, it has to come back to
yourself. I tell people, my friends and stuff all the time, I'm like, maybe you need to date outside your race. Maybe, maybe
Or like, but I think what really
you
needs to happen is that like you can't go from like a person to a person. Sometimes you have to be in a relationship with yourself because
thank you.
Time for yourself.
You
get to know yourself.
And then
exactly.
like you guys are saying, you attract certain people. I think when you change your own self, you'll change who you attract as well too. Like,
I think when you're unclear of what you want though too, because I've been guilty of that too, thinking that, oh, I want this, oh, I want that. And it's just like, I'm now in a relationship where it's like, damn, I didn't even know that I needed this.
Yes.
Things are coming into place where it's like, whoa, I thought I wanted this, but you're exceeding that. Like, this is mind blowing. This is something evolutionary, you know? So it's just like, I don't know. You just have to be in tune with what it is that you want, because if you're going into something without having that be a clear expectation, it's just doomed to fail.
And I think it's
because
bad
you have to meet people where they are. If they're not
Yeah.
giving you what it is that you need, you should be able to determine that in 7 days of, hey, is he taking me out? Hey, is he planning stuff? Hey, is he doing this? If he's not doing that shit and you want that?
Yeah.
No, baby. You need to run. Do not collect $200. Run the other way, because all of these.
That's what already is. He's already set up. This is
You
I
gotta
know
take
I was
people where they
dating and
are.
I was dating somebody with no dates. I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to do this. So I'll hold accountability to be like, you know what, this ain't for me. Maybe you got other stuff that you need to work on too. Because I don't want to date a man that don't want to date.
Make it make sense.
Make it make sense.
Make it make sense.
And then I'm like, okay, am I asking for too much? Like, can we go
No,
get a
you're
snack?
not. But you're not.
But
That's the thing.
yeah, I mean, what we see online, right? Because I do hear from both the men's side and also hear from the women's side. But what I hear from a lot of women online when they talk about their failed relationships, all my exes were narcissists. All my exes weren't leaders. All my exes weren't provider protectors. All my exes cheated on me.
Right.
The thing is, if you always attracting a certain type of individual and the same pattern of behavior, at some point you have to look within yourself of why you keep allowing yourself and why you keep choosing the same types of men. And that's when the accountability comes in, and what our men are saying. You don't really often hear a lot of women saying, you know what? I agree. There's a lot of bad men out there. I agree. There's a lot of narcissists out there. Men who can't provide and protect. Bad women as well.
A lot of bad
And
women.
that is why the vetting process is essential. You can't just let anybody into your life. You have to be very specific and very
And
selective.
not overlook those
And
red flags.
I think women are like, just the way we grew up, like with fairy tales and all of that. Like when we were young, we started off like, oh, I love, hella just like not more like, you know what I mean?
Wait. Do that again. Do that again.
She said, oh.
What did I do?
Fairy tale.
Yeah,
I was saying like women, because of how we grew up, like with fairy tales or whatever type of stories we heard when we meet a man, we're just young. We're just like, oh, I love him.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's like that kind of dreamy thing.
We have this expectation.
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
And so it's like
It's kind of ingrained for us to
Yes.
just stay to and just deal with it. I don't know.
So let me just ask a direct question. So ladies, has anybody here realized over taking accountability for your past relationships that your vetting process was non-existent or was very low?
literally non-existent. Like if I
Non-existent.
liked you and I felt chemistry, I'm like, I like him. Oh my
Yes.
God.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's
Yes.
Non-existent.
okay.
Like, literally.
Non-existent.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so non-existent.
I didn't know.
First relationship.
Said betting
Didn't know
process?
nothing.
Yeah, your vetting process was non-existent
Like
or
how
it
you
was low.
decide
What
to
is that?
date him. Like
I was
what
afraid to
checklist
say
you have
what
or
I
whatever.
wanted. That's for a
Like
fact.
what?
I was afraid.
Like
But, like,
your
if I
vetting
said I
process, like how
wanted
you
this-
pick the guy, what you're basing it off of,
Your standards.
deciding a piece.
My standard.
Yeah, your standards.
Yeah.
Mm.
See me, I listen.
No
I'll
standards?
date. Oh, I got standards.
Oh yeah.
But-
pull out a list.
But you know, I'm willing to learn another person. You know, sometimes my standards might be too high for somebody. You know what I mean? I'm not going to just ignore my standards, but you know, we got to meet on a certain level.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
because like I said, it might be something that, girl, you asking for too much. Just calm down, and but it took out what I was about to say before I even said that. But yeah, I'm not gonna lower my standards for anybody because I felt like I did that in my marriage.
Oh, that's,
I felt
that's
like
fine.
I
That's
lowered and I settled a little bit because I'm like, there's no way I ever do that again. You know what I mean?
fine. Oh, so
Yes.
you didn't keep to your standards, to your vetting
I didn't
process.
keep to-
Okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
settled.
Okay. So
Not
It's willing.
and
It's very
I'm
easy
like,
to
ooh,
bend
if
them
anybody
when you
see
like
this, I'm
someone,
like,
too.
not saying
Yeah, for
the
sure.
reason
It's
why I
very
settled
easy.
was because I love that person.
That's what I was gonna
And I
say.
was
When
willing
you're
to do
loving someone,
anything.
liking
So
someone, it's
that's
easy for
accountability.
those,
You know
for
what I
those
mean?
standards.
Like,
That's the
accountability.
around the bush.
I'm like,
Yes.
oh, I love you. Like,
Yes.
but,
Yes.
this and this and that.
Even though
whatever,
this has been
Yeah.
proven,
So
I love you still.
So that's
Yeah.
accountability to me too,
Yes.
because it's
Okay.
like I was
Definitely
willing to
accountability.
take back some of the things that I would never do. I know
Okay.
my mom was like,
So
you
you-
would never let such and such do that to you, but you let him do it. And I'm like,
Yes.
and then I
Yeah.
thought about it, and I'm like, damn, bitch, you really would.
Mhm.
And then you know what I mean?
So
And I'm
you
like,
compromise your standards.
I
Yes.
compromise
Yes.
my
And
standards.
And it's easy
That-
to do.
You know, but
It's
I'm not
really
doing
easy.
that shit no more. I ain't
Okay.
compromising.
That's
that.
accountability. That's
But that's
accountability right there.
accountability. Like,
Okay. So you okay. So you said you were non-existent, and you said that you didn't express your
I've
standards.
struggled with voicing what it is that I need because I feel like when I do that, it goes unheard. And it's just like at certain points in my life, I felt like I was begging for someone to like understand what it is that I was asking for. And it's an exhausting process. So I didn't date for a long time because of it, because it's just like you're not understanding. And I don't want the headache attached to that. But I mean, I've had a whole new perspective on dating. I just started dating again and found someone, but I mean that process was a whole process in itself. You know,
Yeah.
it's exhausting.
it's exhausting.
Trying to figure out if they're serious and
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's-
Something
yeah,
back to
yeah.
what you said.
Yeah.
Because you had said something that really made me think like hurt people hurt people.
Definitely.
And I feel like a lot of people, modern relationships, people rush from one person to the next because they
Yes.
want that high again because of the low that they just came out of,
Yes.
rather than taking the time to take
Girl,
accountability for
speak.
what actually happened.
Yes.
And it's just like and then it's a never ending cycle, because then these two people break up and then they get together with
And then
somebody
it
else
goes
and
on
they
and
break
on.
up because of
Mhm.
their insecurities. And
Instead of
it's
taking
like
the
I
time.
saw a post just the other day that said confidence is silent but insecurities are loud. And it's like I feel like so many people on the internet are so loud about certain things, but if they took the time to just really self-reflect, and instead of rushing into another relationship, just took the time to reevaluate what
Learn
happened.
theirself too.
Yes, and go through the process of like what happened, or asking the other person like what happened.
Mhm.
You know, like I understand we're not together anymore, but what happened? What could have been done differently? What could have, and like I personally, like I can't speak for everybody else, but
Yeah.
I personally have done that.
Mhm.
So it's like
Sorry about
the areas where I did have to take accountability, it was hard for me to hear that, like I
You're
was
wrong.
unwilling to change in the beginning, which made him drift from me,
Oh, you're
and
so
and
right,
it was
girl.
just like, and that's part of the reason why I'm just like, I don't want, like, I have been just religiously trying to just focus on myself,
Yeah.
so that when I do finally attract that person,
like I can be in a healthy relationship and not hurt somebody else again.
Yeah.
You know,
And you'll
I
be
think a lot
open
of
to
people-
receive.
right?
Yeah,
Yes.
people are doing that. They're
Yes.
just getting in one relationship and jumping from another
Yeah.
relationship.
Yeah.
And then I always ask people, I'm like, so, you know, how long has it been since your previous relationship, and what happened? Because I want to know, you know, what happened in yours. It's like you want to know what happened in mine, because, and I think that's very important for you when you break up with someone, for you to even have that conversation with the ones that you probably even broke up with, and to give yourself space to even, you know, realize what part that you played in it.
Right.
Because if you're jumping right into another relationship, that's going to become a problem. And then you're going to think that you're not, some people don't think that, oh, I'm the problem. Like, it's like, oh, well, this person, it was him, it was him, it was her.
You didn't even take the
Yeah,
time
it's
to
like,
reflect.
girl,
Right.
boy,
No
it
time
was
to
probably
process,
you.
no time to
No
heal.
time to nothing.
Nothing.
And then you're just like, oh, I'm so happy. Oh my God, I'm in love. And I'm like,
and then the
oh
first
my
thing that they
goodness.
do wrong is like,
Yeah.
oh my God,
Oh
it's
my
them.
God. And it's just like, no, it's you, because you should have took the time. You should hold yourself accountability.
Right.
And you should have took the time to learn yourself and learn what it is that you really want. Because if you're just going to keep on going, you're just going to keep on going. And, you know,
Well, and
the
that's
red
when that
flags.
attraction starts to come into play too. Because
Yeah.
when you're just bouncing from one relationship to the next,
Yeah, you're gonna
you're
have that
literally
same
attracting the
energy
same
that you've
person,
been
which is why you're going to continue to blame that same person.
Yeah.
Oh, you're just like my ex.
And then once you date a certain amount of people, you're gonna be one of those people on the internet like, oh, men are doing this, all women are doing this.
Yeah.
And then that's how that happens.
Like, no, that's just your
Or
Yeah.
and I ain't gonna lie, it's some people on there that they can't and don't even date. They just be on the internet talking about dating.
Yeah.
Right. Don't even,
Or people that give you advice, girl, you ain't never been married.
That's
you ain't
what
never
I'm
had no
saying.
kids.
You're trying
And
to
then it's other people be like, yeah, I know, huh? And I'm like, y'all crazy. Ain't nobody tell me nothing
Yeah.
about marriage and
So-
having kids if they ain't got one.
Yeah, so I mean, I think when you have conversations for most people, and you kind of self-reflect on when the relationship fails, I think for both men and women, you realize there's a lot of red flags from both sides, and you both chose to ignore it, and you didn't deal with it. So I think we can all agree that vetting process is one of the things that today why modern dating is failing, because people don't really do a job of vetting your partner.
Right.
But because we have hookup culture, we have situationships, we have sneaky links, you know, we have all these things that necessarily doesn't need somebody to be vetted. You just go out there, have your fun, and then expect
your way,
later.
I go my way.
And so
Sneaky.
yeah, sneaky links. You know,
I'll
Sneaky
be
links, like let's say it's somebody that you're not with, but like at night and you're lonely, you'll call them and they'll come.
yeah, it's like a booty call.
Oh, the 2 a.m.
Yeah, booty
Okay.
Yeah. That's just the new
Okay.
thing. Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't know it had a word.
call. Back in the day, it was a booty call. Now it's called a sneaky link.
Okay.
Yeah.
But can a sneaky link be if that, and it would,
But I think
Look,
the word sneaky implies like you guys
sneaky
aren't out
is-
with it. You guys are not.
Yeah, it's not
you
public.
got a relationship,
It's covert.
you got a relationship
Yeah.
and you sneaking with her, but you really with them. That's kind of like a little bit too, you know.
Yeah,
sometimes-
but you can have it when you're single too.
I had a
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I had a question for you guys, because ultimately what I always like to do is try to figure out solutions for the problems we're facing. So do you guys believe that, I believe this, I'm more traditional, but dating for the intention of marriage? You guys believe in that?
I'm doing that
I
right
do.
now.
I do all the time. That's why I said it.
Doing that right now.
Yeah.
baby.
I don't know yet.
I
I
believe
believe
in
I
that.
honestly don't know how I feel about marriage.
Because everybody don't want to get married either.
Okay.
Yeah, like
Marriage
I love
is
the
not the
idea of a
same.
long-lasting relationship,
Yeah.
but the specific like paperwork and shit, like that's a whole
Dude.
ass contract.
I think a
To
partnership
be
in
honest,
marriage.
I did not want the divorce that I had. I was very much raised, you get married, you have kids, and that's just that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And but my parents were divorced, and so I was hell bent on my marriage is going to be successful. So marriage is not out of the picture for me, even at my age, but I'm very much more picky on who I get involved with. It is so hard to even get me on a date right now. Like you got to jump through all these. I've had poor men chasing me a year, and I'm sorry, I'm just not there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm very,
Because you're not.
I'm
are you
very
healed?
upfront for the most part. But what I find is that some men trigger me because they're overbearing, they're controlling, they want me to force on a date now. No,
Yeah.
I don't want to be forced. That's what I left.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it depends on the
flag.
person, because for me, I'm more first date in a group setting as friends. And then that way it's not awkward. If you don't get along, everybody's still vibing, you can have fun. But if you're trying to pressure me and we're not already friends or knowing each other to be one-on-one, I'm not feeling that. Like, and I've made that very clear. Like, I'm very much open to going out or come meet me at an event where I'm working. Let me see how your vibe and your energy is in a group setting.
I like that a
first.
lot.
That's
I like
and
that
if
a
you're
lot.
not okay with that, then I already know what you want.
Yes.
Get it out of my face. That's not what I'm here for.
Right.
So
I
that's
like
how
that a
I've been
lot,
kind of.
actually.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
That's me.
That's pretty dope.
It's not that I'm not looking. Well, I say I'm not looking because I'm not actively dating. I'm not on websites looking for people. My focus is my work, my kids, my family.
Yes.
And if somebody happens to come along and we hit it off as friends and things progress,
Right.
then I would be open to it. But I'm not actively out there searching for somebody.
Yeah.
I wasn't either.
She got swooped up.
I got swooped up.
She's like, wait a minute, where are you taking me? I like this.
Girl, that's how I feel.
She's like, who's this?
I feel good.
That is how I feel.
I have a question for you guys because we talked about dating with intention, dating for marriage. All right, so who here agrees that dating should be intentional? It should be something for marriage.
It should.
I think intentional.
It can be. It doesn't have to always be.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
I think there's
No, no.
casual dating. There's different types of
That's
dating.
fine.
But
That's
I
fine.
definitely
what you
been-
want.
That's
you know
fine.
what
That's
I mean?
I could say.
But just another follow-up question. Do you guys believe that women should wait, should save themselves for marriage, or hold off as long as possible until you get married before you have sex?
If they want to.
I'm all.
No?
It'd be
I
hard.
think if they want to, but I think
marry somebody and they can't fuck me how I want. You feel me? I'm gonna be.
no.
No, I would be talking about that shit all the time. Ain't no way I didn't sign the papers.
I think before you marry somebody, in my opinion, I believe, like, I know people have religious beliefs and that's cool. Like, if you wanted to stay a virgin into a marriage, that's cool. But I do think, like, the person I marry, I want to have already had sex with them. I wanna already have lived with them.
Yeah, I was gonna say you need to live with them too.
I need to know all
because you're
sides of
signing
it,
up for
everything.
that.
And you want to go through the
I don't
ups
even
and the
believe in
downs
moving in
because I
after
want to know,
marriage.
okay, if
Yeah.
we're down right now, you know what I mean? Can we
I think
like
I think marriage should
Can
be the
we weather
last
the
step
storm?
where you've
Yes.
already formed a life partnership. I don't
Absolutely,
think
yeah.
it should be like, oh, let's get married. I don't think there should be a rush to it.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely never.
like like it's like once it's official, like you're married anyway.
But
Like,
some
oh,
people
let's
are
just
like
get on
6
it. Like,
months. We gotta get married in 6 months.
Mhm.
I'll be like, how y'all get married in 6 months?
Go through like all the kind of like trials and tribulations.
I need to see you mad. I need to
Because
see
you
everything.
and then you need to know how that person is too by living with them because it's just so different behind.
That's gonna be a
closed
shock.
doors,
If
you know
y'all
what I
ain't
mean?
did that, if y'all haven't been
Ooh,
intimate,
Lord.
you haven't lived together. Imagine.
But can I ask you another question?
Imagine.
Is it possible to learn all these things about compatibility without sex and without getting that without sex? Can you learn everything about your partner without sex? Is that possible?
Everything except for sex. But sex is a big
If
thing.
both parties are willing to have those honest conversations.
There we go. There we go.
Because a lot of people, they're either lying, pretending, or avoiding.
Yeah.
Right. But if you find two mature people who are willing to sit down and have these hardcore conversations, honestly, yes.
Yeah.
So I know you guys mentioned that you guys have a different opinion, but I think that's one of the reasons of why modern relationships are failing. I'm more in the traditional sense because if you look at the traditionally back in the day, before a man had access to your life, whether it was mental, spiritually, physically, sexually, he had to come and meet your family. He had to come
marry you.
Marry
off the
you.
bat.
He had to meet the father.
Yes.
He had to
court
prove
you.
himself. He had a good reputation in the village, in the city, wherever he lived. And so there was a very high vetting process, all right? And you actually sat down with you and you had conversations with the chaperone, right? We don't have to do the chaperone, but that's too much for me. But you have to have those hard conversations, right?
Yes.
All the things that you guys have to discuss about your future. And I think for me is that the reason why dating with intention, dating for marriage is so important to me because I truly believe this. One of the biggest decisions you're ever going to make in your life was who you're going to have a relationship with. If you mess that up, it has a lot of consequences.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to affect you, especially when you do it with the wrong partner or you have kids with the wrong person. Right? So it affects not only you but everybody that's involved. So the thing with this casual dating mentality, we take dating so casually, even though we all understand it's a big decision. You can either uplift your life and change your life for the better, and actually destroy your life for both men and women. So I just don't understand the mentality that we understand that there's a lot of problems in relationships, but we're gonna do it so casually.
Yeah.
For me, it's a big commitment. It's a big decision who I'm gonna decide to come into my life and we're gonna spend the rest of my life. So I'm gonna do my due diligence and put that work in.
Yeah, it's like why
before
put
you
in
have
all that
access,
work
right?
for you not to end up in a partnership?
Exactly. So,
Or,
and I think,
you know,
and I
what's
think,
the point?
yeah. So
I got friends.
So think about it. This is what I hear from the men, you know, especially my men who are I wouldn't consider good men. This is what they tell me, man. It's the easiest time to get with a woman. They don't require me to provide or protect. They don't require me to make it official. I don't even have to commit to her. She doesn't require me to show me, to prove to her that I'm that man. I just gotta say some things, just spend time with her, take on a date. I get it in.
Yeah.
This is what the men are saying. Like, it's so easy today just to fake it and get what he wants and move on to the next girl. And so,
Is that what he wants though? Like, so he's not dating with the intention of marriage.
Yeah.
He's kind of just messing around.
Yeah.
From woman to woman.
Because he's
and then he's gonna want to settle down with a woman when he's like
Yeah.
45.
Yeah.
And then she's
And
gonna
been
do
through
that.
Not even 45, because then 50-year-olds would be
yeah.
just as bad.
So that's what I'm saying is, I know you guys believe in the casual dating culture and all of these things, and having sex before marriage. But I think that's what the very reasons why you find yourself in those predicaments.
Right.
Because especially with sex, right? When you get emotionally invested into somebody, especially sex, it's a beautiful thing, but sometimes it can blind you.
Yes, it can.
Or especially if the guy's holding it down, right? If you're holding it down, you can blind a lot of women,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So what's that word? It's stigmatized.
Yeah.
Or pussy whip.
Pussy whip, right?
There's
But
Pussy
that's the
whips
thing,
too.
like sex. I think sex is a beautiful thing. Its the purpose is to build children. But if you're gonna start a family, you want to be able to make sure you have a partner that's ready for that responsibility, right? But then if you have sex with a guy that showed no qualities, that he wanted to be a dad, he wanted to be a husband, and then you wonder why he left when as soon as that responsibility came in place, then you have to revisit your vetting process. So I think that's why we find ourselves in these problems. Is that back in the day traditionally there was a big emphasis on the vetting process, right? And back in the day we actually had strong families that stayed together, so we could have examples of what it would love to. But a lot of times when you have these conversations, you don't have no example to compare what a real man is or what a real woman is, right?
I've actually know somebody who faked a whole relationship just to get the skins.
Of course.
They was engaged in everything. She held out. They were planning a wedding. And before he was like,
He married her just so
no. She ended up giving it up before they got married, but it was after they were engaged, planning a wedding, gave it up, and he called off the wedding. So
he could have just went to your phone.
but it was a bet. It's a bet. It's a male
He
ego.
couldn't get it that bad.
Yeah.
He had to get engaged.
Yeah,
You know what I
always
mean?
date-
So-
when I date somebody, I look at them like, especially after the second date, third date, I just be like, dang, can I see myself with this man? You know what I mean? Like, and if the vibes ain't there, they ain't there, and I just move on because, like you said, life's too short anyway. And not even saying that because I've been married before. I may not want to get married, but I'm still going to date for the potential because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna fall in love with this man. So is this the man that I want to marry? Is this the man that I want around my kids? Is this So I
Someone
do
that's gonna
date like
be
that.
in your
yeah.
life.
Yeah. And if it's a
It's
hit
gonna
and
be
quit,
around.
it'd be hit and quit. You ain't coming to the spot. You ain't, you know what I mean? It's different. I think it's where you're at. Because like we were saying, when you take your time to know yourself, you're not looking to date. You're just looking for a stinky link or whatever you call it, or you're looking for a hit and quit or whatever it is the case may be. But me, when I am dating someone and I'm not even looking for, I wasn't looking for nobody, you know, it just comes, it'll come naturally.
Yes.
I have to look at that. And that was one of the reasons why my first relationship didn't work, because we grew apart, because I was just like, let's just say he was more so of homebody, you know, and I'm like, I want to go out. I want to take the kids to family trips. I want to do this. I want to do that. You know what I mean? And it's just like, do he want to be a part of that? And, you know, doing stuff with the family out, not just in the backyard, having barbecues every weekend, you know? And then so I just had to think about all that little type of stuff. And I was just like, I don't think this is not comfortable for me.
Okay.
That's why, see, I do wish that I actually did date more in my younger 20s. Because like I said, the guy that I'm with, I met him in high school. So I didn't do a lot of dating and I don't have a lot of experience in dating. And I think maybe not necessarily sex, but I do wish that I had more experience. Because like even the things about people saying like, oh, I didn't know what I wanted or I didn't know. It's because you're not, like, you don't know how to do a relationship. You know what I mean?
That's how, and I'm 41, girl. I'm just learning this year of what I want.
Yeah.
Dating people.
And I do want to say, like,
and I'm just now learning too. So
like the stuff about traditional marriages and stuff,
Say that again.
The stuff about traditional marriages.
I was gonna say.
Oh my god.
Okay, continue,
No, it's
continue.
real. It's real.
So the stuff about traditional marriages, I agree that there was a positive element of it, but what a lot of people ignore is that a lot of women were taken advantage of really young and were stuck in relationships. Yeah, there was less divorce, but those women were getting cheated on, those women were getting dogged out, abused, beat, raped, all kind of stuff, and it was okay because you're married to that person. And I think people do ignore that and they look at the beautiful part like, oh, there was less divorce. Oh, there, but it's like there was a lot of other
unhappy things going on.
especially for the women, especially for the women. So yeah,
my great
I just want to
grandmother
point that
told
out.
stories. She stuck through 20 years of marriage, and my great grandmother, she was born in 1909, so this was way back in the day. Divorce was not
an
even,
option.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
so
exactly.
she stayed, like she didn't have nobody to support her. She was dependent on
Can't
her
work,
husband,
you can't-
right?
Yeah. Exactly.
And when you're an alcoholic and you're domestic violence and you're this and that, like she stayed until the kids were grown, and then she said, "Deuces, I don't have to be here no more. Everybody's self-sufficient. Goodbye." But you know, that's one thing people don't think about is they're like, "Oh, well, you just left," but there's reasons why you should never have children living in an unhealthy, toxic environment
Because it rubs right onto them.
and it's going to continue the
Yes.
cycle. You have to break that cycle and take that accountability all on your shoulders for
Right.
something that wasn't really
Yeah.
your fault,
Right.
but you have to deal with the consequences anyways.
No, I usually hear that argument whenever we talk about traditional marriages where you have to get married first or save yourself before to marriage. That, you know, they always bring up the examples of all those women who stayed in abusive or bad relationships. I'm not advocating for that. What I'm saying is we need to look back and see things that worked. So the things that didn't work. So I will never advocate for women and men to stay in a relationship if they're getting abused or infidelity. No. But what I'm saying is that vetting process did work to some degree.
And it was very different.
It was very different. Now we just eliminated.
Yes.
Today there's no
There was
vetting
purpose
process
behind it.
So today there's no vetting process, and a lot of the things you guys just mentioned on this panel, that there was no vetting process, and that's why we're seeing a lot of these issues. So I think the traditional vetting process, you know, that worked, and we need to bring that back.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think what happens is when you put that vetting process from both men and women, I think most women don't want to take accountability, because if you have a vetting process, it's a little bit harder and you have to put in work, right? You have to actually work for it.
Oh yeah.
And I think sometimes for a lot of women, they don't want to be accountable, you know, to put in that work. They just want to have like the easy way. You know, I just want to do whatever I want to do, have sex and live that life and go through that phase. And then when I'm ready, I'll just find my husband. That's not how life works. You know, you're not gonna just accidentally run into your future husband that's gonna love you and commit to you. There has to be time. There has to be invested.
It has to be a decision.
Anything in life that you're gonna do that's gonna be great, it has to be sacrificed. It has to be time. And for both men and women, we're unwilling to do that, especially in today's generation, where it's so easy, especially with the apps and everything. And it just requires having standards, requires putting in that work and being more accountable. But for a lot of people, they don't want to do that.
Just because it's easier to communicate, to find people, doesn't still mean that we throw discernment out the window.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to have discernment in order to make good decisions.
Yeah.
Because like we said, there's 8 billion people in the world. Every person you meet is not supposed to be your life partner.
Right.
That could be somebody you're just supposed to be friends with and work on certain things. That could be a business partner, not necessarily somebody in a romantic sense. And I think everybody these days is so consumed with being in love with the idea of love, but not the work that goes in on actually learning.
It takes a lot of work.
You have to learn the people that you're with. You learn your kids. No kid is the same. They're going to be different than you. They're going to have different needs, personalities. You learn your people if you love them. Otherwise, you're just like, I'm not going to learn you my way, the highway. And then you have that toxic environment.
In marriage.
So I'm like, oh my God, I got to learn something.
I'm telling you.
Else.
And women,
if all women put set their standards really high, you know, we're not going to do this until we are married. We have a ring on the finger.
it will create better men.
You can provide stability.
It
It would encourage the men that want to get married to uplift themselves, to elevate themselves, to get to that position. But the thing is, men back in the day knew that if they wanted to be with a woman,
what it required.
They knew what was required, and they had to
Yes.
put in that work.
Yes.
But without standards, there's no reason for men to incentivize them to put in the work, and that's why a lot of guys don't do it. And you find them, and you find themselves with these types of men.
How many households have men there now?
Oh yeah,
Honestly,
that's
the
a problem. Yeah, a lot of single parent households, a lot of people
So
without parents.
They're not meeting that.
Yeah, so but we can do something to make a difference. But I do see Damien on here. Hey, what's up, Damien? Everybody can see Damien.
Hey,
Say hi, Damien.
Damien.
Okay. All right, Damien. I just got one more question. I'm gonna ask the ladies, and I'm gonna bring you right in. Okay, so we talked about the accountability. A lot of the guys are saying that you guys are not being honest, being accountable, taking that accountability. So I'm just gonna ask you guys some things that when we have conversations with men, it's often things that they bring up that was lacking in the relationship, and a lot of women are not willing to be upfront with it. So I'm gonna ask you some things. Okay, if you want to share that information, if you don't want to share it, that's fine. So a lot of men are saying this. So all you guys are in a relationship. A lot of men are saying is, a lot of times the reason why the relationship failed was the sex life was inconsistent. That she didn't.
Why did I know that was going to be
The sex life
I
was
literally
inconsistent. So let me ask you, ladies, in the previous relationship that didn't work out long term, I want to ask you, was your man sexually satisfied? And did you put in the effort to make sure that he was?
That
Or
is
was
the
that
one
was that
thing
lacking?
none of my exes have ever complained about, and the reason they still try to reconnect.
That
Yeah.
part.
No, because there are.
I would pop a collar, but
No,
yeah, if you're I'll pop my strap.
I'll give a shout out. Those are good. But there are reports out there just saying that I think 30%. Fact check me on the live chat, but about 30% of marriages are sexless. Where they go.
Sad.
Dealing with
That's
that.
I'm scared to get married
sad.
because people make that married people make that joke like, oh, once you get married, it's gonna stop. I'm like,
It's like
Don't put that shit in there.
It's like
Don't put
a
it near me.
communication thing. You gotta
y'all get tired.
communicate
But to be
with
fair,
everything.
ladies,
right?
but to be fair, what I do hear from a lot of men are saying is sometimes women weaponize sex. They use it against as leverage.
Oh no.
I've heard of that. Like,
If you don't do this, I'm not giving
but
you
it must
this.
not be
That's
good if she
horrible.
gonna hold it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I
let me
actually
stop.
on my
saying,
own
if
sex,
it's
that
a
is something
favor
that
for
pisses
her
me
to
off
give it to you,
Yeah.
for the men.
it's your
Because that's not right to
Because
me.
she
Like
Yeah.
that's
You
that's
should
supposed
be
to be
leading,
something
sir.
beautiful
Yeah.
that like builds your relationship. That's
Yeah.
not supposed to be meant
Yeah.
to take away. That's not
Yeah.
no.
But
So
Absolutely
to
not.
to her point, if a woman feels sex is a favor,
That's what I'm saying.
you
Yo,
must
it's
not be
sex
breaking
good
it
if
off.
she did that
sir.
because she don't want it. She's just doing it for you.
Because if you
I'm just
breaking
saying.
it off, there is no favors. We all trying to go to bed.
So this is so
Mad or not.
for the- so
I
for the-
don't care.
for the sake of the question, I have to go around the panel. In your last relationship, did you put in the effort to make sure that your man was sexually satisfied? I do know for as being a man and also from other men, if the sex is there, it definitely helps to empower him to keep that relationship going. So I'll pass it to you. What did you put in the effort to make sure that he was sexually satisfied?
I put in the effort in everything. So
Okay.
I don't want to toot my horn,
Okay.
but I haven't had any complaints. I mean, I've been in a 13 and a 10-year relationship. So, but no, I do. I have asked my partners before, like, is there anything, anything that you want me to do? Like, you know what I mean? Just to be on a communication side, because sometimes people may be like, I just don't want to do it. And they might not communicate with you because they might not want to hurt their feelings.
Mm.
And the reason why I've asked that question to my partner is because cheating wise, because I'm like, what made you want to go be with somebody else?
Yeah, and that's
Because
brought up.
am I not fulfilling your needs? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And they're not like, oh no. So it's a communication.
Yeah.
But I haven't had any
complaints.
I haven't
Yeah.
had any complaints.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Because I think for men it's the physical part. That's how we know that you love us. If we don't have that physical connection, a lot of men in that situation where they're not getting consistent sex from their women, they just don't feel loved in that relationship. So I'm not justifying the reason why they go seek out outside of relationship, but that's what I do hear from a lot of men. If you're not getting it here, if they're men, like they need to get it somewhere.
Yeah.
So that's why that's important. So I'll pass it to you. Did you make sure that your man was sexually
think so.
satisfied? Yeah.
This don't got nothing to do with accountability. I just play the accountability. Did you have sex with that man like you?
I think so. That's like a yes or no. That's like
It is. It's holding the I'm sorry. Why else would exes want to come back 20 years later?
Yeah.
they just want.
I've been divorced 10. Since 20? I've been divorced. No, I've been divorced since 2013. He still tried to come back multiple times. My daughter's dad, I haven't been with in 20 years.
Yeah.
He's still trying to come back. Like, dudes come back for a reason.
Okay, we'll keep it moving.
If nothing else, but for that.
Right.
We'll keep
That's
it.
the one thing.
Yeah, we know.
We'll keep it moving. Same thing. Like, did you make sure you put in the effort to make sure your man was sexually satisfied?
well, just for me, I can't speak for anybody else,
Yeah.
but I like to learn,
Yeah.
and body language especially. So I that's yes.
Yeah, okay.
I like to know, and it's kind of like a cycle
pleaser,
type of thing,
too.
you know.
She's a pleaser.
Like I like to learn it, and then it's like it makes me happy.
Yeah.
I know that I'm
Yes.
fulfilling that, and then I like the feedback. I like to ask the questions. I like to know, like, what do you like? What do you not like? What do you want more of?
Teach me
You know,
something.
like yes, teach me exactly. Like I want to know how to take your soul.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Trying to snatch it.
yes, exactly.
And don't be sad, but it's so hard to do something different when you're with somebody for so many years because they automatically think, where you do that from? Where you get that from? You know what I mean? Like, no, I'm just trying something different.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, it'd be a whole
I mean,
communication.
a whole fight.
Okay.
Where'd you learn that from?
Where you get that from?
Okay. Pastor Eugenia.
I would say in my last relationship, I did the best that I could, but like I said, we were young, so
Yeah.
the relationship was dead really early on.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Okay. Or
yeah.
pass it to you.
Yeah, so he taught me a lot of what I know. So if he taught me correctly, then yeah. But no, like see, for real. But like no, but physical touch is like my love language. So yeah, like I like to do that type of stuff. I like for example, when he takes a shower, he don't put lotion on after he showers, and it irks me. What you're supposed to do when you get out the shower. So I was just like, fuck it. So I make shea butter, right? So he gets out the shower, I just rub him down with the shea butter. Like, let me do it. Just do it. So like I like doing stuff like that. So in short, yes.
That's intimate too with your partner.
Okay.
Yeah, and then it always ends in sex.
Creates a
Anyway,
connection and a bond.
no matter what I do, it ends in sex. If I massage him, we're going.
Yeah, that's how it is.
You argue, we're gonna settle it over here.
That part.
You know we can't go to bed without being settled out.
Oh, you had a good day at work? Come here.
You had a bad day at work. Come here.
Yeah. If it stops, I fucked up.
Straight to your room.
What did I do? All right. Kiki, pass it to you.
I would say for me, mostly yeah, but like in relationships, at least my past ones, like after a while, I really don't want to be touched. Like I don't know, like physical touch is not one of my love languages, or like it can be, but like I don't know, it be coming in phases sometimes. Like those moments where like I don't feel like being touched, I kind of just want to isolate. Definitely not.
I have a response. I have a response for that.
What?
You haven't met that dude. When you meet that guy,
He dropping gems,
he's gonna touch
baby.
you in
You
all
better
type of
take
ways.
them.
You let him touch you.
Man.
Girl, I'm in the parking lot kissing on a man. Okay, I've been kissing on him every time we together. I'm kissing on that man. I'm like, oh my god, I was like, oh, she said it. I swear to God, but it's different, girl. Yeah, when you find that one,
Yeah.
like you said, you ain't
You have
found
it
that
doing
one.
all kinds of things.
Or maybe it's a woman.
Yeah.
You never know.
Oh, okay. Let me add on another one. Let me add on another one. I just want to ask you guys. I hear from a lot of guys. The biggest criticism they have for a lot of men, a lot of women who don't take accountability is they don't bring peace to their life. So they're always nagging him, complaining about him. They're unwilling to have conversations. They're not supportive. Look, I do understand men are saying we're not perfect. Like we're gonna make mistakes in the relationship, but a lot of times women they don't want to be very supportive, have conversations, always nagging, always complaining. You ain't this, you ain't shit,
That's why
whatever
some
this.
too.
And a lot of guys, I think from when you have conversations with masculine men or provider protectors, they feel empowered when a woman empowers them, uplifts them, right? Hey, supports them, right? Because if we go out there every single day to work 80 hours a week to give you the best life you can, it feels empowering for a lot of guys. We just want gratitude and appreciation for the effort we're doing. And if we need to be better, we can have a conversation, be better.
Absolutely.
But don't always put your man down always. And he's going to work and facing all the realities of the harshness of the world. But he doesn't want to come back he doesn't want to come back home and then have to face with that same thing at home. He wants peace. He just wants happiness when it comes to his woman. So I just want to bring that to you guys in your self-reflection, to take accountability. Did you guys put your best effort to be that type of woman and give him that type of peace in the household, or you kind of lacked on that, or you were deficient on that?
So definitely, again, like I said, I felt like I was too supportive in a sense. But what I will take accountability for is my mouth. Because once situations start creeping up, I'm not the type to bow down.
Okay.
I'm very but see, that's what I'm saying. Like they're gonna still say that I'm pushing the blame back on him. But once boundaries have been crossed and violated, and you're continuing to be disrespectful, and we've been having conversations and we've been trying to fix things, and you continue to do the same things, my mouth does get very disrespectful. It did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my mouth will make somebody want to hit me. Should he still hit me? No. Should I call the cops? Yes. Did I? No. I fought him back. So, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a downhill thing where it's like one different decision on somebody's part, and it could be either. That's why I say, like, when I bring up situations about my exes, I don't try to paint them in a bad picture because I stayed. I dealt with it. I fed into it. You know what I'm saying? And then out of respect for the children involved. Now, of course, my kids are older and they're seeing things for themselves like, hey, why were you dealing with that? Like, I heard about this and this and that now that they're older, you know? So I talk more openly about it than I would when they were younger. My kids never heard not one bad thing about their fathers from my mouth. They heard about it from other people. And then they come to me like fact checking now that they're old enough to understand. But, you know, there's different things, you know, my mouth will check, my mouth will correct. And now I'm just at that point where I don't even want to deal with it. So once I feel that energy come in, I'm like, this way. Like, I'm not going to put myself in those situations anymore.
All right, no worries. And I just want to add on cooking and clean. That's part of it as well. Making, you know, because women, you know, women that can cook and take care of us and cater for us, that's empowering for a lot of men out there. And sometimes what they say is a lot of times women are willing to make the home. They're not cooking, they're not cleaning, they're not taking care of the household issues. So that can be a problem.
Well, see, and that's the thing is, you know, like I said, life chin checks you harder than anybody else in the world. So you can have a situation where the man's the provider, something happens and goes left, and now you're the provider, you're doing this and that. But I still expect if I'm working my ass off, going to school or working multiple jobs to keep our family going and have your back, I don't expect to come home and cook and clean on top of that. Now you're in the stay-at-home husband role, and that should be you. So when I come home and I still have to cook and clean, that's when I'm looking like, why are you here? Because you, as a man, if I wasn't cooking and cleaning and you're putting all the, you know, paying all the bills and doing this and that, you're going to be looking at your wife like, what's up? Why are you here if you're not doing your role? So that's the same thing. And if it's a thing where we both have to work, then we both have to still make sure that all these other tasks are being checked off. So my ex-husband, he loved to cook. Like I only cooked if I had to. He would let me know I can't cook tonight, whatever. Like that was his thing. He loved to cook. And so I was always the cleaner. No matter what, I was always the cleaner when it was a split 50-50. But I'm like, when they're towards the end, it was just all me working. And I'm just like, this house is still this. Why do I have to go get pizza? Like, why do I have to go get pizza after I get off work? Why do I have to go do, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, there's a lot of different things. And there was more outside of that, but. Okay.
All right. Thank you for sharing, Shamari. I will keep it moving. So yes, same with you. You know, did you do your best efforts to make sure that you supported your man, you uplifted your man, you brought in peace in the household, you know, created a household? Did you do all those things?
I can say that I did and I didn't, just based on the conversation we had earlier is about the submissive, because just like she says, if you're not treating me right, you know, my mouth is vicious as well. So if I feel you're not treating me right and you're not respecting me, I become a whole different person. Now I can cook, clean, this, that. I did all that and still worked and took care of the kids and had 2 more extra babies. You know what I mean? Like I did all that stuff. But at the end of the day, I felt that I didn't like that side of me, that I didn't like the side of me that didn't do, because I'm more caring and I'm a doer. So if you put me in a position where I don't want to cook for you, like, and I'm petty, like I'll cook for myself. Like, you know what I mean? I'll get to being like, oh, you'd be like, you cooked and you didn't make me nothing. Oh yeah, me and the kids ate. Because like you said, you have to be that leader. You have to, and you have to make us feel. So I feel like I did do my part. And then there's times that I didn't, only because of how you made me feel and what you were doing to me.
Okay.
It wasn't intentionally.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so I just feel like I did. And I still do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's one big thing about me too. Like, as far as me even dating and I like someone, that's one of my love languages. I could, before I got here, I made greens, macaroni and cheese, and this and that. Like, that's just me. Yes, honey. Yes, honey. Like, I cook, I clean, I take care of my household, and I will take care of my man. You know, as long as he's taking care of me and doing the things he's supposed to do for me, there's never a problem with that. You know, it becomes a problem when you're not.
Okay.
So yeah,
All
I
right.
feel like I have, you know.
Okay. You admit it sometimes, and you did. Sometimes you don't.
Sometimes
Okay.
I do, sometimes I do.
All
90% I do, 10% I don't.
10% petty.
10% petty, you know, because it's petty to
10%
me.
petty.
So
Okay. All right. We'll keep it moving to you. What do you think?
I've struggled previously with I feel like I have obsessiveness sometimes when like I feel like my needs aren't getting met and I'm like trying to explain it. So I feel like I do have a tendency to nag. I'm definitely trying to steer away from that with this new relationship, but I feel like, you know, as far as other households being like other tasks being met, that's still getting done, but I am going to run my mouth. So we still have a problem at hand. You didn't want to discuss it yesterday. Let's discuss it today. This is how you made me feel. So I definitely, I'm trying to shy away from that. I'm trying to find gratitude in everything because I have a tendency to complain a lot. And so I always stand corrected when I find gratitude in something. So instead of complaining about something, I'm like, I'm thankful for this, and it shifts the whole thing. So I'm trying to go into a no more complaining era and no more nagging era. So yeah, I've struggled with it, but I'm doing my best to
accountability
to outgrow it.
Okay. Oh, okay. So you nag a lot. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you for sharing.
Damon's like, what's going on?
He's like, come on, let me in.
Yeah, Damon. We're just gonna go around the table, and I'm gonna bring you in, Damon.
He's like,
It's all you, Damon.
Can you
All right.
Nancy over there?
A little bit. Can you move the window up a little bit?
Move the what?
She can't, the whole window.
Oh, okay.
The little window. Just
Oh, she can't see Damien.
I can't see. Yeah, I can't see the bottom. It's getting cut off by the bowl.
Be like, yeah, I'm still here.
I'm trying to hear what Damien got to say.
Okay,
I know.
me too.
We cut it out, Damien. You better have a good conversation.
What was the question?
Oh yeah. So did you put in your best effort in your previous failed relationship that you know
To create
that
peace.
Did you
Like a
create peace in
peaceful
the
environment.
household?
Oh, okay.
You supported your man, elevated your man.
In the early stages, it was definitely a battle just because we were so young, and we didn't really understand how to be there in a respectful way when things were hard. So I did run my mouth, in the sense of like when I felt disrespected, I had no problem speaking my mind.
Okay.
I'm very slow to speak, just naturally me. But when I felt like he was being disrespectful in a certain way, I had no problems just telling him like it was, like, you know, whatever you want to call it. Once we got married though, I feel like there was a period where I was working before I became a stay-at-home mom. So, you know, we definitely split our roles where, you know, we would cook together after work and, you know, we were there for each other and stuff like that. And figured out how to split the responsibilities, you know, not necessarily like you do this, I do that. It was just kind of like, when are you going to, you know, or what do you want to do kind of a thing. We just kind of figured it out. But once I became a stay-at-home mom, yeah, absolutely. I literally did everything and did not expect him to do anything because he was working all the time. And I appreciated that about him. Like I was, you know, I mean, there were times when, you know, he wouldn't come home because of training, which later I found out what it was, obviously. But, you know, like I was very supportive of that. And I was just like in my mind, I was like, you're going out there fighting for our family. I'm here for it. Like I will do whatever I need to hold down the fort. I have a brother and other family members who were in the military, you know, so just seeing other family be without their man at home, it's like, you know, I at least get to see you on a weekly basis, regardless of how many days in between. I just wanted to be there for my family, regardless of what that meant for me. Like I was willing to do the work that was necessary to hold down my house.
Okay.
So.
All right. Thank you for sharing. Keep it, Gina. Same thing.
So yeah, so being in a relationship around 21, I felt like I was like really reckless when we would argue, but I was still trying to like be this cute little girlfriend, making sure like after I got home from like either school or work, I was making sure like the room was clean, somewhat of a dinner was made. But like if we would argue, like clothes were getting bleached, we would get into it.
Lisa Lopez.
Yes. like my past relationship brought out a very ugly version of myself. So that's why I'm like happy I took the time the past few years to heal from it and also get a sense of self. And this new relationship that I'm in now, we balance each other out. So I understand when he comes home, I'm peace, you know, and we communicate a little bit more. So whether it's me coming home from like a double shift, he's cooking, or I'm not, you know, not at work or not at school, I'm cooking, everything's done. You know, we get to talk about it. Do you want to go out for a walk after work? Let's kind of like decompress the whole day together, you know, like things like that. So I took time to grow. So having that like kind of peace of mind after the end of the day, you know.
Okay. All right. So I think clothes getting bleached.
He said red flag.
Okay. Thank you
But
for
why were the clothes getting bleached? That's the question.
Hey, don't avoid the Don't shift
them accountability.
Hey, don't shift the accountability.
Okay.
The bleach clothes is not good. It's not good for anybody. All right.
So bad.
I know.
He's like, I want to say something so bad.
We got two more people, Damien. We got two more, and it's all you. The floor is yours, Damien.
Okay. Was I his piece? I would say in the beginning, no, I wasn't good at that because I didn't know what it meant. And I thought that I was because people think, oh, I cooked him dinner. I did that, which is cool. That's a part of it. Yeah. But I didn't. Okay. When I really actually learned what it meant to be his piece was this one specific day where, so he was working really late. I work from home. So like I'm at home, I'm working, but I'm like at home all day. So I have time to like do laundry, do all type of shit. But so he was getting home. It was like he was working like super long shifts, like 16 hours. And I've never actually told him like, you know, like I really appreciate the work that you put in. I know you work really hard. I've never like, you know, some stuff I always thought like, oh, it's already known. I don't have to say it, but it does feel good when you actually say that. But that specific day, he came home at like 3 a.m. I'm asleep. He left his charger in my room, right? So he goes in there to plug his phone in after a long day. He's like, where's my charger at? And I'm like, I don't know, like it's not right there. But I remembered my son had took it. After we're looking for it, I remember my son had took it into the other room because he thought it was his. And I was like, oh, that's not yours. But he left it in there. So I was like, oh, I know where it is. So I went in the other room, got it from him. He's like, it shouldn't have been moved in the first place. And I'm like, okay, why do you have an attitude though? And then so I was feeding off of his attitude, which was coming from at work. He was going through hella shit, like whatever, the guy at work was being weird. Like he had a lot of stuff going on at work. But I'm not thinking about that. I'm responding to like, okay, why did you say that to me with an attitude? So now I'm arguing with him. And it just escalated like so much. Like it was like this huge big ass fight to where like he was about to leave and hella shit. And so after that, he left. He stayed at his dad's house. Then we talked on the phone in the morning about it or whatever. And he was able to say, I mean, yeah, he could have communicated like, oh, I had a long day at work, But so he told me that the next day or whatever. And it's like, I hella understood, but it's like, I don't know, like I learned to kind of just consider that. Like I've been at home all day, like chilling. He woke up at 5 a.m. He's getting back at 3 a.m. Like, you know, so when he comes home, I'm more kind of just like,
yeah.
I mean, still don't yell at me about the charger, bro. But I could have dealt with it differently. Instead of yelling back at him, I could have been like, whoa, like relax, you know, like her, you know. So yeah.
Oh, that's the.
So I'd say now
tell me about your day.
Yeah, now I know how to be like, oh, how was your day? Like before I start talking about home stuff, just to like help him with that transition of like, okay, you're home now, like relax, like you're not still. You know,
no, that's one of the things I do hear from a lot of guys. You know, so yeah, that's a great example, great point. Thank you for sharing. And then Kiki, and then I got you, Damien. After Kiki, it's all you.
Since I've heard that before.
I would say for me, I've never fully had like a live-in situations where it's like our shit.
Yeah.
Like for instance, like the beginning of a relationship, I was more so like going over to his house and stuff. But at the same time, he had like 3-4 roommates. So fuck, I look like being the only woman in here cleaning up y'all shit
hell
just
no.
because I'm his
Nope.
girlfriend. You feel me? So, and then in a different instance, he was more so like in my house, so he didn't feel comfortable doing shit because like that's my mom, you know,
Mhm.
just out of respect, whatever. But I definitely will like always make sure that you eat. Like, okay, you need a shower. Like, what are you going through?
Mhm.
Even if I'm mad at you, like it's kind of hard for me to just act like I don't give a fuck about you or like purposefully not do shit just because I'm feeling a certain way. I got a big ass heart. So if anything, I'll be like, okay, like we could go smoke and talk about it. Like maybe let's take some space and come back. But definitely, yeah, I enjoy taking care of people if you give me a reason to. If not, then
Very much that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Damien, all eyes on you.
All right. All right. Yeah, I'm about to let Damon in, but as always, shout out to the live chat. Thank you so much. As always, let's get that live chat popping. Let me know what you guys think.
Thank you,
All right, I see Marcus Antonio Castillo. Hey, what's up, Marcus? Always good to see you on the live chat. Thank you so much. Like I said, don't forget, this is a public stream. I'm about to allow Damien to come in as a virtual guest. If you want to be able to come on as a virtual guest and talk directly to the ladies, become a supporting member of my locals. The link is in the description. And of course, if you see value in the content, join the show. If you want to support it, drop it through a super chat. Or if you have a voice and opinion that you want to be expressed, drop it through a super chat, and I'll be able to read it and respond to you guys. As always, I appreciate you guys on the live chat and supporting the channel. We'll keep it moving. And Damien, your time has come, Damien.
Hey.
All right, do I have a sound effect for Damien? Let me go. And what's up, player one on the live chat? What's up, Damien?
What's up?
Hey.
How y'all doing?
Good to see you. Good to see you, Damien.
Yeah, it's always good to see you, my brother. Appreciate you.
I see the pearly whites. Okay. Says the women that are in relationships. I am. I'm commenting.
But
So-
Damien, the floor is yours, Damien. Go ahead.
Something interesting happened the last half an hour, and it's not surprising, but it's good to see. I feel like Shamari, when you put it out there, my mouth get a little reckless when things don't go my way, whatever, and you start showing accountability, you kind of made it a safe space for everybody else to come up and like, yep, girl, I'll be nagging, my mouth get reckless, I pour bleach on shit, You kind of made it a safe space, and I think that's what was necessary for people to really start opening up. Because, I think when I put the question out there, I think it could come off as like, well, you had to be to blame too. So what did you do? And that's not where I was trying to make it come off. But it could come off as, both people play a part in the breakup to different degrees. He's like, and I think a lot of people were like, oh, he's trying to say half it was my fault. No. I was just saying what it could be. And it could have been what you did from the beginning. It could be like, I got with a dude who was in this line of work, or who had 4 baby mamas, or he had this, that, or he was just this type of person. I didn't do enough vetting to go what Will was talking about to recognize that he may not be a dude that has that might have the propensity to be unfaithful because of these other things I was looking past. Maybe he was super good looking. Maybe he had money. Maybe he had this or whatever. Or, he was just super, super sweet, or caught me at a vulnerable time. That's what I was saying. It didn't have to be, what were you doing at the end that made your relationship end? It could have been absolutely, what didn't you do at the beginning that led to where this couldn't have been a long-term relationship? That's what I was getting at too. Like, and maybe I phrased it in the wrong way. That's why I would have come up and kind of like clarify. It wasn't like, y'all had to fuck up too. That's right.
It was like, I see a lot of we. What about I?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was me too.
Yeah, he said
that. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so and that's what I was saying. That's mainly what I was talking about. But like I said, as soon as Shamari was like, my mouth got a little reckless, it was just like the floodgates had opened. And like you would, got nagging, and I got, like I said, pouring bleach, and I accepted stuff I shouldn't. I was, all this kind of stuff. And that's the kind of stuff that I think Will was originally trying to get with accountability. It doesn't have to make you look bad. It could have just made you look inexperienced. It could have made you look, a way that is not conducive to long-term relationships. That's all. You know, I just wanted to make sure I didn't come up there and be like, hey, you know, y'all have to be bad too, or whatever like that. Oh, and I did want to touch on something that a lot of them, when he asked the question, you know, about the sex thing, I just want to give y'all some game. A lot of dudes come back because of them, not necessarily because of you. It could be a lot of dudes just want to know they still got that position and they still that dude.
Yeah.
It's an ego thing. A lot of dudes hate to lose position. I'm not saying y'all don't all have like bomb, whatever. All I'm saying is that
And you will never know because you're married.
all I'm saying is like a lot of dudes hate to lose position because I know a lot of
mean
like,
that ego stuff, like to feel confident. Oh, I still
Yeah,
got it. I can still pull up.
yeah, I'm still that dude. 10 years later, I can still go there and hit. I'm always have access to my baby mama. My brother says that. My oldest brother says that. And the funny thing is, in most cases, it's true.
Yeah, it is.
So, and that's why a lot of times the dudes might be like, it may be an ego boost for him. So, but like I said, I may all have like bomb coochie, but
Yeah, women,
put it out there.
If it ain't good, we are not going back. What you calling me?
See,
for?
exactly. Yeah, women don't have that ego thing that men have when it comes to access to other women.
We have the ego, but it's in a different sense of you're never getting the shit again.
Yeah. But they're not gonna say, oh, like, let me put it on. He's messing with another chick. Let me mess with him again, so I'm sure I'm better than the other. Well, maybe. Well, now that the words are coming out of my mouth, I know some women will actually do that. They will compete with another chick.
I would never do that.
So yeah, you know, that was kind of like the main crux of my point. When like y'all was saying it, I was just like a weight had been lifted. Y'all was like, there go the accountability we talking about. And I was just like, I knew it was in there somewhere. We just had to have somebody make it a safe space for y'all to just dive into it and just get 10 toes deep. Because I didn't think I was gonna be hearing about somebody pouring bleach on shit for real. Now, that's some accountability, but that's some accountability like a motherfucker. That's somebody just saying, you know what, I get reckless when I feel it. I'm not getting my feelings. So that was one of the main things that I wasn't coming at y'all to be like, you know, y'all ain't shit and y'all had a problem. It's part of it. It's your problem and stuff like that. It was mainly just like I said, just to I got the end and just came in there to applaud you guys for just coming through with it. Coming through with the accountability. It's refreshing. But it starts at vetting. It starts at, like Will said, it starts at the vetting process. It starts at making sure you with dudes. Like I said, if you only with a dude and you just want to have fun, rock out, have fun, take the trips, get the dick, do whatever you want to do. But if you're still looking for somebody in the long term, you got to make sure that the things that he's positioning himself in are things that lead to a long-term relationships. I'm talking about the occupation. Like, you know, if he's like, you know, nothing against personal trainers, but personal trainers have access to a lot of women and they can cheat. Yeah. If he works at any type in like the club, music industry, stuff like that, I'm not saying that they all do, but I'm saying you're putting yourself in those positions where dudes can cheat on you. You know, because they have access and availability.
They do, Damien. They do.
Yeah.
It's 90%.
And Damien, I do want to say in the beginning, I think that's kind of where the accountability conversation was kind of shifted towards. Like we were talking more about the vetting process, like, oh, I was doing this and that. But I think both times women were holding themselves accountable, but I think it was in different ways. So when he asked us a specific question about being his piece, I think that's also why those other things came up too, because he was saying, why did the relationship fail? You know what I mean?
Right.
And
okay, I want to actually, does the word accountability, there's certain words that I think that put women in a certain mind frame. Does the word accountability have a different connotation? Like I'm just going off what you just said. It made me think that what you're saying is accountability was kind of like a whoa, and peace, you were like, well, no, that was more of a soft word. Like, accountability is more of a hard word.
I mean, like the way the question was phrased, it was like, what role did you play in failed relationships? So they're thinking about the end of the relationship, why the relationship didn't work out in general. Whereas, were you his piece? It's a very specific question. So they're going to talk about were they peaceful or not, instead of overlooking at the whole relationship. Like, oh, I shouldn't have chose this person at all. You know what I mean? I should have vetted more carefully. Like, you know.
Yeah, well, I think both of them can go to what you did or didn't do in a relationship. It's like what you did do as far as
well. That's why when we're talking about the
relationship.
general relationship overall, we were saying we, instead of I, because both parties contribute to a failed relationship. But when you're saying I his piece, there comes the
That's very
I,
specific.
and there comes the more individual. What did I contribute?
Shamari, you know that question was very you specific, was individualized specific. There was no ambiguity. It was like, oh, is he talking about what did we do or why did it end? I said specifically, what did
role did you
you
play?
do?
But I mean, still, it's in a failed relationship. So we're thinking about overall, why did it end?
Yeah.
And then
Hey,
that's what
hey.
we're thinking about generally. We should have chose different. We should have left earlier. We should have,
That's
you know
what
what I
I'm
mean?
saying. That's
Going
the
deeper
accountability.
into it, there's
The accountability
hella
is I
factors.
should
There
have
could be hella
vetted the person out more carefully.
Yeah.
I should have had boundaries. All the stuff
Short
we were
answer,
saying.
yeah.
That
Yeah.
was accountability.
I think it all
Right.
ties into it together, but there's definitely layers that I feel like eventually you strung it along and we were able to kind
Once we
of
got down
group
to
it all together. But
Once you got comfortable, because these you don't know the people you don't know. Most of y'all don't know each other. Once you got comfortable with each other and stuff like that, you can kind of like let things. And I get that, and I think that's a good thing for men to kind of like identify and learn that you got to build that place of comfort for women to really like open up about shit and really tell you stuff. Because you know, in a relationship, if a dude comes in the first day you date and be like, why did your relationship break up? Then you'd be like, hold up, you know. But if you're dating for a while and he sees all the good stuff, he could be like, you know what? I think you're amazing. I couldn't understand it why nobody would want to be with you. What was some of the reasons your relationship break up? And then you feel comfortable because you've already established a history of him thinking that you dope, as opposed to him just, you know, coming at you. Because like I said, y'all didn't know me. I just came out of nowhere and typed some shit.
Everybody's like,
Depending
who's
on
dating?
energy, though, I can be comfortable
And then
automatically.
you smile.
Depending on energy, I can be comfortable
Yes, it's
automatically.
the vibe and the energy. Like
Yeah.
you get, I feel that 100%
Yeah.
the energy because the energy just takes control.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And see, there was no
As soon as
energy when he
he's not
typed it because we
there.
didn't know who he was. Now he's on the screen. We can see his face, we can see his tone.
Exactly.
But I
Tone,
know I
body
like
language,
Yeah.
all of it. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what
because he seriously, I could have been like a straight up like hater, like these bitches is lying, you know. I could have been like that, so, you know, ain't shit, you know. Women, you know, I could be a straight up woman hater type of that. That's what I'm saying. I hear you. That the energy is different now that you can see me, and no, I don't mean no ill will to you guys, and I'm not trying to like catch you up on some shit. Like, see, I told y'all, bitches ain't shit, you know. It ain't none of that, you know.
Hey, Damien, I want to ask you: are there any? You know, I use specific examples. You know, the sex, the peace. You know, those are things that generally, when we have the conversations in the space of men, that's usually the thing that's brought up of why a lot of the relationships were lacking and failed. Are there anything else specifics that comes to mind to you that you, when you have conversations with men, things that we all often talk about, or why the things that women either did do or didn't do? And that kind of led to the failure of the relationship. Are there any other specifics you want to share and ask the ladies? So they can give them
Lord Puninger just put it in there. It was like basically it's just like it's I think what it happens is like the if you're not able to like really consider that person's perspective, because a man's perspective when he first meets you is different than he's in a long-term relationship with you. That's just the way it is. Because a man gets in a relationship thinking shit ain't gonna change. You're gonna fuck them all the same amount of times. You're gonna look, the body's gonna look the same. You're gonna cook as much as you do and all that kind of stuff like that. And then the perspective has to change over time because varying things happen in life. You have kids, you know, you both start working, you know, all these are changed, and then you don't have these conversations. And then the dude can be like, whoa, hold up, you know, you just surprised me with you. I thought I was gonna get this, because they haven't had these consistent conversations, and you haven't had based on where with the other person's perspective in mind. You know, you understand what I'm saying? It's like, because one thing that me and my wife do pretty consistently over the years is like, but we had to learn this. Don't get me wrong, we didn't come up this much color. We went through couples counseling, you know, because we've been together. This would be our 16th year. We went to couple camp year 7, and we had to learn all this shit. We came out, we was fighting like motherfucker, like what the fuck, you know? Because like I said, I was one of those cats who expected shit to be exactly the same way it was, but then I didn't take her perspective into consideration, and then we had to reevaluate shit and have those conversations based on where our perspective was in order to make sure we're getting what we need and what we were able to compromise on for the sake of the relationship. You know, I think those are some of the things that I think people consistently bump their heads against. Is like, okay, what is your expectations out of me? What is my expectations out of you? Is it something that you're willing and able to do? And are they realistic? And do they actually push the relationship forward instead of keeping me, either pushing us back or keeping me in the place out of where I'm at, instead of moving me forward as well? So
I think
kind of things that
I think a big thing
Go
too, we talk about communication, and while communication is important, you can't communicate to respond. You can't just listen to respond. You can't just speak and expect somebody to agree with you. You have, if somebody's talking to you and trying to express something, you have to listen to understand, and put your emotions to the side until you fully understand where somebody's coming from. You can't take it personal, even if the words sting, because you're being honest about how you feel. And so when you're trying to express that, we have to take the emotions out and listen to understand. And then once we understand, then you can find a viable solution to whatever the problem
Right, or else y'all just gonna be Percs.
Otherwise,
not
you could talk to your blue in the face and get nowhere and just make the situation worse.
Well, and the other side of that too is when you don't understand what they're saying, but you think you understand.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like twisted. And so one of the things that I learned from watching my parents go through their almost divorce was to ask the other person questions. So like I love asking questions. Like, did you mean this when you said this?
I think or repeating what you said. Be like, this is what I took from you saying that. Like, this is what I interpreted it as.
Is that
this
what
is how I
mean?
perceived it? Is that what you mean? Or if it's not, can you say it again? Dumb it down a little more.
Conversations with a purpose. I feel like people argue until they're blue in the face because there's no intention on where they're getting to a solution. They're just fighting and talking, but they're not.
Because they want to be
both of them want to be heard.
They want to be
it's like,
right.
how y'all gonna hear each other if nobody's listening? You guys are both trying to explain something at the same time. Like it don't.
That's not gonna work.
Yeah. One like an old saying that the old thing that I kind of like really glammed onto earlier when me and my wife were going through our stuff was, it's like your relationship is like a rowboat. It's like a boat, and there's holes in the boat, and the motherfucker's sinking. You could sit there and be like, baby, well, I got the last hole. I plugged the last hole. Why don't you plug that one? But I plugged 3 holes. You only plugged 2 holes. No, but I plugged the last one. But I plugged more holes, and the shit just going down. It's just like the communication has to be like solution based and compromise, and like, okay, baby, I'm gonna plug this one. Can you make sure that the last this one that pops up, you plug that one? And that's what it means. I think a lot of people focus on the keeping score and shit. It's just like, I did this, you did this, I did this, you did this, instead of just
the person.
No record. It's in the Bible.
Yeah.
It's in the Bible.
Yeah. And it's just like those are some of the things that, like, the common mistakes I made like early on. I mean, it's just all through all transparency. It was just like, just to be accountable. This is my second marriage. This is not my first marriage. My first marriage, I got married when I was in the military. For all kind of wrong reasons. The military gives you a bunch of extra money if you get married. I met a girl. I thought her son was dope, so I was just like, "You cool? I love your son. I like you, kind of. Let's get married," kind of shit. And it was just like, I mean, I'm just, and if somebody asked me, Damien, why did your first marriage win? I'll be like, you know what? I wasn't ready to be a husband. I'm not a cheater. I got some real hard lines against being unfaithful to women that you commit to. Don't get me wrong. If you guys agree that you guys can see other people and hook up with other people, that's your relationship, rock with it. But I just go some hard lines about infidelity in relationships. But I was put myself in situations that I can understand weren't conducive to a long-term healthy relationship. And I was, and I thought she was going to want to come with me to these situations. And I was like, it wasn't. So, and I picked the situations over working out the relationship because I was immature. I was stupid. I was selfish. I was inconsiderate. She had her faults too. I'm not, but it ain't on me to hold her accountable for her shit. It's about me to hold me accountable for my shit. So, and that's why I wasn't. And those are the kind of mistakes I made sure. If you can recognize and be accountable, you can make sure you don't bring that shit into the next shit.
Yes.
Like, I'm sure Miss Clorox bleach on there won't be bleaching shit. She won't get herself in a situation where she gonna be bleaching people's clothes, right?
I'm not gonna bleach no more clothes.
But watch your mouth. Because there might be like
Even the women who said their mouth gets smart after if what you call it. I don't think you I could be wrong, but you probably won't let it get as far as it got to where you consistently got a smart mouth with a dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
absolutely.
no.
Definitely.
Now I just don't even deal with it.
See, and that's what I'm saying. What accountability does is give you a blueprint to have a successful next situation.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
And it can fit you if you really want to and really work on it. And both people are doing it. It can help your current one, but a lot of times it's usually most beneficial in your next situation.
Yep.
So that's why I think why Will and like we've talked about it before. Accountability is just so important. You know, I want to ask you a question: is it equally important for men to be accountable, men and women to be accountable, or is one need to be more accountable more consistently in a relationship?
Okay, but to play devil's advocate, I agree that it can be both. But an argument that could be made is that since men feel like they lead the relationship and women follow, I think that men could be responsible for taking that first step to kind of open the door for accountability.
Absolutely.
But that's just me playing.
I agree with her.
Yeah, because I feel like the women will follow in the
They'll follow.
accountability.
Oh, that's what we
if
do
they're
in this
being
relationship.
accountable.
They're setting the tone, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right. So men can take the first step, like you said, set the tone. But I think it's equally important for women to realize when they're not following.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
For their failure to actually follow if the dude is doing all this stuff he needs to do to show, you know, that he's looking and he's able to be a leader.
Yes.
And I think that if those two things are happening, relationships usually rock out and they all good.
Did you have a question?
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask. This is kind of off subject now, but we're talking about like women and the vetting process. And I was wondering. I know you're like married and stuff, but like I was wondering your opinion on like men and their vetting process for choosing women, and like, you know.
Okay, we can talk about that. All right, so men should not even. No. I'm a hope and accountable. Men should not be realistically considering like vetting for marriage until they're very late 20s, early 30s. I should not. 24-year-old dudes should not be sitting there thinking about getting like what I'm looking for in a wife, because that shit could change. I know what I was looking for at 24 when I married my first wife is. I mean, well, I was looking for the same thing. I like a fat ass, so I knew I was looking for that. But you know, but that wasn't the thing that was going to hold me down for a long time. So it's just like there's some foundational shit that's going to be the same, you know. But you know, for the most part, I think what it is because at that age, when you get older as men, as you get older on age, you should have a plan for you where you want to go. Any guy who can call himself a grown man starts to try to formulate his plan in his mid 20s, and then starts to do the part work to execute his plan starting at like 28 to 30 years old. They start putting in the work. So I feel like everybody you should be dating should be somebody who's, whatever that plan is, I don't mean it's got to be a specific, is somebody who's in line with the goals that you're trying to reach in the plan you formulated for yourself. I think, don't get me wrong, you need to, if you find somebody that you value, that plan can be changed and augmented to consider what she wants and consider what she needs for long term. Absolutely. But you need to have something already in stone, because I think women respect that. You know, women respect that. My understanding of women, and like I know a few, is that if the dude that's like, let's just say a dude just want to ask you out, if he says, you know what, I like you, I want to take you out. I'm talking to you, Clorox. I want to take you out. What do you like to eat? Where do you want to go? I mean, what time should I pick you up? You know.
Oh, I hate
that. Is not that is just whack. But if a dude say, you know what, Clorox, you know what? There's this great Hawaiian ribeye at Houston's or Hillstone down by the wharf. I like to eat it as much as I can. I would love if you join me for that. And I'm probably going to go at 8:00. Does that work for you?
Yes.
She gonna be like,
I mean, and that's the difference. And that's the difference. Like, because that's a plan. Women love plans. And I think dudes need to have plans formulated. And for women to be like, okay, cool, I can rock with that plan.
Yes, a leader.
But you say, hey, you know what? That sounds like a great plan, but can we just make sure they have some, like, say you don't eat meat. I don't eat meat. Say they got some vegan options. You're like, let me call ahead. Okay, they got vegan now. We can still rock with that plan. He took what you like and what you needed in consideration, but the plan still pushed on. I think that's what, and that's just basically what I'm saying. What dudes need to do consistently in order to make sure that the person that they're with is a person that they probably most likely ain't gonna have to deal with all the BS and the nagging and the smart mouth and stuff like that, because there's gonna be a lot more respect in that. Women only yell at their men they're starting to lose respect for. That's my point. Well, they may be yell at man like, get your shoes off, because I posted something with maybe I yell at something about leaving your shoes in the living room, but they only yell. It's not consistent. They only consistently yell and lag, but do what they don't have respect for.
Yeah.
And I think so. That's it. Yeah. So that's my take on the male vetting process. Does that answer your question, or is there anything specific you wanted me to
It kind of answered my question. I was kind of thinking like the same thing we were asking the women, like about how they pick the guy or picking the wrong guy or dealing with the wrong things. Like, the same thing we were saying, just reverse. Like,
they got to be in line with the men need to have a plan, and the women need to be in line with that plan, whatever that plan is.
And you like I said, you don't think they should do that under 25? You think they should just not date for marriage under 25? But
I don't think they should not date, but I think they shouldn't. I mean, at a certain age, I feel like this.
Who are they going to date?
More different.
Because you had said we should always be.
That's what I'm saying. So that's my question. Who are these guys supposed to be dating and messing around with and not taking seriously if women are always supposed to be serious from the beginning and date for marriage? Are they supposed to just play with these women that are trying to get married, or?
No. See, I'm being very pragmatic. I'm being very practical. Like you said, sometimes there are women out there that just want to have fun.
Yes.
And that's where they need to be.
So those are the women you date while you're not in the mind frame of I'm going to be dating for marriage. But then don't take a marriage mind woman and think I'm a finesser and tricker and think that I'm marriage minded and I'm really on some other shit.
Right.
I mean, like I said,
women get shamed for that, for casually dating, for just wanting to have fun. But then, if men think that they should be able to do that, who are they going to do that with if we're not allowed to do that and it's shameful?
Well, I think a lot of women get shamed for it because they don't know they're not realistic about it. Like, it does a lot of times limit the group of men that's going to treat you look at you for a long-term relationship, look at you seriously for a long-term relationship. That's a fact. That's going to limit but you can find dudes with congruent values where that's not a problem. There's going to be dudes out there. There's a dude, if you got 2 bodies on you, it's too much. And a dude that if you got 50 on you, they don't care.
Yeah.
So you got to just.
Later on in life.
What did you say?
I said men mature later on than life than women, because it's a lot of us that by the time we're 20, we know what we want. We're more mature, versus like you said, guys that are 25, they're not looking for marriage. As you say, I believe that as well, because sometimes it take a man to be in his 40s to really settle down and to know what he actually wants. And then you have some that's just never like that. And then you do, even now today, I see 28-year-old guys who got everything going for themselves, and they are. So I think it's more so in the conversation that you have when you meet that person too,
Yes.
So you know what he wants, what she wants, because at the end of the day, you never know. Everybody's mentality is different and everybody mature in different ways. And you may not have that male at 45 that had a dad in the household to even know what that is supposed to be like too. So it's more so in a conversation. But I do believe that when the older that they are, they're a little more mature. Because as women, we mature faster than men.
Well, hopefully there are certain points points that in a man's life where they can know where women should easily be able to know how responsible he is, and that's just and it's unfortunately a lot of women don't pay attention to it. Vice versa, there's a lot of checkpoints in women's life that men need to know they don't responsible. It's like
I'm over here like.
But the reason why it takes a little bit longer. Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, go, brother.
I was just gonna say is the reason why it takes us a little bit longer to mature is because the qualities that you guys are looking for, like competence, confidence, provision, protection, leadership, those are skills that it takes a while for us to learn. It takes years for us to master that, right? So it takes us probably in our 20s, trial and error, to figure that out.
And that's
Yeah.
fine.
But then I mean, it's also natural too.
Yeah, no,
that
yeah.
physically,
Yeah. So
but it's
that's
also
why.
natural, like physically, like women stop growing before they're even 18. Like I've been this height since I was in 7th grade. Men continue to grow until they're up to 21. Like even physically, women develop. Have you seen middle schoolers? The girls already have boobs and
I don't
everything,
look.
and the men, the guys look like a little boy.
You try to get a man caught up. I see what you're doing.
It's like, what?
I never got them 12-year-olds.
Trying to catch you.
Yeah. Nah, we ain't doing that. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you. But yeah, I hear you. I hear what you're saying, and you're exactly right. It's just like,
But I think
there's a certain age like where it usually works out. If the man is like, and the woman is like 5-ish, then things start to be cool. Because
When you said the ages, what did you say?
30 and 25.
I'll repeat that one more time.
I said when a woman is around 25-ish and a man is around 29, 30-ish, shit starts to be cool. They start to be around the same level where their long-term goals start to be in line.
Yeah.
Like if their goal is to be in relationships, is going to get married, and their goal is to what have you. And I think the dude needs to feel like a lot of dudes just don't get married because they feel like, I'm not in a way to be financially stable enough to support a family and all that kind of shit like that. So, which is valid. I think that's why I think like you look statistically, that's where it kind of like lines up.
So, Damien, are you saying that men shouldn't be involved in relationships until they're 100% able to financially provide for the household and protect? Or is it a valid thing for them to be in a relationship with someone who sees the characteristics in them, sees them putting in work, and is willing to help them become that version of themselves?
That sounds good in a Lifetime movie.
That's how we end up in these situations.
Because I see it a lot of times. I know this wasn't the topic tonight, but I see it a lot of times online where people are saying like men aren't loved if they're not already doing these things. But I know many women who don't mind being a part of the process as long as you're honest about where you're at and where you're wanting to go.
Can I ask, Damien, can I ask him a very direct question?
You gotta have a plan.
Yep.
Okay, so this is what do you guys prefer? I just want your honesty. Are you willing to work on a project man? There's no guarantee that he's going to become that type of man that you want, but he's building himself up. Or do you just want a finished product?
Well, it just to me it depends on the situation because I'm older now. I don't want to build a bear just like I don't want to build a woman.
Yeah.
But if I was younger, then I probably would. But I have more responsibilities, so I can't help build you. I can support you. We can do. But I don't want to go to.
That's fair. That's fair. So right now you just want to finish product. Okay.
I want to finish product. It ain't gotta be all the way, because we're not like 90%, but. At least 80,
90%.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
See, I don't mind being part of the project. That's me because you're never going to be done. You could be 40 just starting your dream. You could barely be getting those materials, those skills, whatever it is to keep going. Who knows where you're going to be when you're 60?
Dang, take you to 40 to figure that out? I don't know.
No, but I'm saying like I've never been afraid of being a part of the process. The problem is, again, like we come back to discernment and ignoring other red flags because everybody has the potential to grow into it. And I hope all my exes eventually still get where they were trying to go. But there were other issues in the relationship that had nothing to do with their ambition, had nothing to do with the financial responsibility.
So wait, I'm sorry. So you were talking about business wise or you was talking about, okay.
No, I'm talking about he has all the things that you look for, like financial, emotional, mental, communication, all the things that you guys talk about.
I don't got time to
build them up. Okay.
But that's not saying
I could. I don't sound like to build him up yet. I will build my man up.
No.
But I just don't want to start from scratch.
Yeah, start from scratch. Yeah.
Yeah,
And the thing
I
is,
know.
what I'm saying is, starting from scratch, there's no guarantee. That's the thing. You're placing a bet. You're placing a bet on that man. There's no guarantee.
Exactly.
So it's gonna work out.
This
But then it
is
depends on the
my point
effort
with
you
that.
guys are gonna put in. Go ahead, Damien.
This is my point with that. To Shamari's point, there's nothing wrong with saying this dude saying, I have a plan to do X, Y, and Z. Here's the plan that I've laid out at any point in life. I get you. But it gets to a point where you need to have some, even if it's better if it's spoken, but it's somebody, you need to understand it. There needs to be some checkpoints that he needs to hit at certain points to see that he's actually on the way to getting there. Like he said, you know what?
Like
I want
a trail showing he's already done these things, and these are the next steps, and this is how long it's going to take me approximately.
Yeah, because somebody could say, somebody say, I want to open a store. I want to have me a McDonald's chain. You know, you need to see that. Oh yeah, you know, I've already went there. I've already applied. I already got the money that I need to, that they need to see in the bank. The cash reserve ready. I already picked out the site. Whatever. All I'm doing is waiting for these things coming through. And then say, because these should happen. Then you be like, okay, cool. I see he has a plan. But let's just say he ain't got none of that, and he just one more you with him because he's a nice dude, treats you right, you know, lays down the dick, whatever. And he says, you know what? I want to open a McDonald's. I wonder how they do that. And we're like, well, go on and Google it, whatever. If there's no action behind it, he's not, like I said, consistently hitting these checkpoints, then you setting yourself up for some bullshit. I'm just being honest. And then you have to hold yourself accountable because you didn't set a standard for the dude to meet.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That goes back to it's like the accountability can happen at the beginning. It don't have to happen at the end.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's facts.
Yeah. All you women got the dudes at project. Make sure they steady moving.
I ain't no project.
But I don't necessarily consider it a project though. Like I feel like a project is more of like a woman trying to fix the man, like work.
Maybe
on
it's
the project.
I don't mean it like that.
Different, you know.
Yeah.
I just said project because
But I mean, established. Like no, I don't feel like there's very many men that are established. I feel like they're always trying to figure out their path. So at least most modern men today. So
Or redirecting,
I feel
right?
like
You
a
could
lot of
start off on
women-
one path and it goes wrong, and
Right.
you got to go.
Yeah,
some-
or you can change. Like I got my homeboy.
Our mindsets just need to be more of, you know, like it's okay to build that empire with a man. You know what I mean? As long as they are showing the action and they have a plan to get there.
That's
like
what we're
we
saying,
have no
yeah.
problem following suit and supporting as long as we see the action behind
Right.
it. Like we're totally fine with that. I want to build with
But that plan can't put all the heavy lifting on the woman
Right.
though.
Yes,
Right,
it has to be
That's
both
the
coming together.
Like,
Like
you got to work eight hours because I've got 80 hours a week because I need to do blah blah blah.
Damn it. You
I ain't gonna
better pay
lie.
for
Beautiful
all the other shit.
administration.
I'm here for moral support,
Hey,
paperwork.
and
I
that
have to
home,
do
that
I will
home.
take it.
Work.
Men
handle the
struggle
books.
so much with like paperwork
That's
and
it.
stuff like that. Like they'd be like, oh, I need you to help me fill out this form, and it's like asking you regular questions that you just answer, and they'd be like why? I don't understand that. Like it's like they want a
Because we're
woman.
big, okay.
Like I don't get it.
Because we're big picture thinkers. Now I'm gonna take this real talk. I remember one of the things I do for a living, I got to get presentations, and I got to do a lot of times I got to do PowerPoint, and I got to do Excel. My wife was a project manager for a long time before we started having kids, and she knows Excel in and out. So I'll go to her like, baby, I got to put this data in this spreadsheet, and I'm just like, she's like, blah 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 blah. There you go, baby. And I'm just like, see, and it's like that's fine if you're deferring to her expertise.
You got to do all the
But
other
if you're just sitting,
Yeah.
you know, if she has an expertise in something and you're deferring to it because it's gonna help
Then,
you move forward, that's what's up. But if you're like, baby, figure this whole shit out for me because I don't know, I'm too dumb, I'm too late.
I got
to
the
do
small
it.
end of it.
It's a teamwork. It has to be.
Yeah.
a
It's gonna have to
teamwork.
go.
It definitely
Yeah.
has to be a
He don't be
shared-
wanting to
every
read, y'all. I
relationship-
should make this
every
man.
relationship requires.
I
different
wrote
things,
his
you know
whole
what I mean?
resume, like the whole shit. But that's what got him his first like I put him in a different field, his first bigger job, and then now he's in the field that he wants to be because of me. But he got more jobs, so he like that helps him move up. But in the beginning, it's like he didn't know how to do it. You know what I mean? He was working at like Amazon, Tesla. I'm like, well, if you want to do catering or like food project management stuff like that, this is what you need to look for. This is what you need to do. Like I literally had to do like everything. Like he was a baby. But
You gotta,
now, years later, it did pay off because I'm not saying you should do that.
Are you still with him?
Yeah. But I'm not saying you should do that. But I'm just saying in my situation, it actually paid off because he matured. Like he's so much more. He was like childish, bro, I swear. But now he's like different. But we were young too. Like we were
yeah, it was like you were young. You were young. He was from this. He had to be like 19, 20 or some 22 or something, between 20 and 22 when we talking about.
No.
Oh, he's older than you, huh?
No, he wasn't. Yeah.
6 years older than you.
When we met, I was 18 and he was 24. But at the time when I did the job thing for him, that was literally like 5 years ago. So when I was 23 and he was 29.
29.
Yeah.
Hey, can I bring up something? I want to bring up something.
Yeah. No.
I want to bring up something, Damien, because I know I hear this a lot in the men's space. You know, when women say, "I was young," is that a legitimate reason the reason why they make certain decisions? Because sometimes what I hear from the men, women will say, "Oh, I was young," but like you're an adult.
Your mind is fully developed until you're 25.
But the thing is, for a lot of men, they're saying is we don't use that same reason for a man. A man's 18. If he does something that we get held accountable, but sometimes from the women's perspective, when they have these conversations about accountability, a lot of women would say, "Oh, I was young," it's to kind of defer the accountability. And I'm just giving you guys the perspective from men when women say that.
Oh yeah. If you're in your early 20s or like out of high school and using that's no.
I was young.
Like,
If you're
25.
if you're making decisions with only short-term gains in mind, you can't. You know, it's only impressive if it's the other way around. If you're like, I'm 24.
It's all in here.
25 is young.
Just
for us.
For some people, yeah, because I'm okay.
Because when you're young and inexperienced, you don't know something. So yeah.
25 is 25 years old.
Your brain isn't fully developed until you're 25. You're just
talking
now
about
becoming an
25,
adult at
though. We're-
25.
I think you guys are forgetting that we're talking about past shit. Like this isn't.
So they're talking about when they're
currently
18, when they're
happening.
21, when they're
Like this is high school shit. Like years ago, y'all are making it seem like we're talking about this right now. This just happened. Oh, well, I'm young.
I'm young is
so I made this.
definitely a valid reason because by saying that you're saying that I learned and I matured and I'm not like that anymore. This is when I was like that. I think it's valid for men and women. Like none of us are the same as we were when we were 18, 21. Like
I feel like it's
you're
valid.
young, you're inexperienced, you don't know.
I think it's both because you could still be, like we've been saying, like you could still be 40, 50 learning new shit. It's just inexperience, really. I think that's really what we mean by when we say like we were young or whatever the fuck, like just truly inexperienced.
You don't
that's definitely
But I think do you think that's a better word to use? I was inexperienced, I was ignorant or whatever. I was unaware. I think that young is like you know. I think young is just like I said, cop out term. And you know, I'm with for men and women. I ain't gonna just put them in. Men especially. If men say, yeah, you know, I was young, I didn't do shit, because that's a point. They're a lot more significant. Like,
but you know, people say young and dumb.
Young, dumb, and full of cum. You were thinking it.
He said, "All right, I'm heading out."
I'm heading out now.
Damien, we come to the end, but Damien, what's any final thoughts you want to share with the ladies? Go ahead, Damien.
Yeah, that's it. I think I said a shit ton. I feel like I talked too much in this motherfucker. That you know, I just appreciate y'all allowing me to come to rock with y'all. Like I said, it was great to that, you know, that you guys could be as accountable as you were, and you know, it's not all on you, it's on the guys you with, but it's good that you can recognize it, and accountability can come at any point in the relationship. It's not just at the beginning, middle, or end. It can come at any point in a relationship where you need to be accountable for whether or not this relationship is moving forward, or it's just keeping you stagnant, or it's not helping you progress. Yeah. You know, so yeah, hey, it's good hanging out with you ladies.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna jump.
Go ahead,
No, I was just gonna say I'm gonna jump off and let you rock out for the rest of it.
No, what I was gonna say, Damien.
Like it was a pleasure.
Thank you for jumping on, Damon. What I was gonna say is, you know, it took me a while, but we got it out of them.
Yeah,
to be accountable.
Like I said, that goes to what I said. Give a woman a safe space, you'll get the world.
I mean, y'all got it from the jump. Y'all just didn't understand.
didn't like our answer.
That's all it is. You got the
No. Okay. All right. You brought up something. Before I go, I'm gonna say you brought up something. If it's so hard to understand, did we really get it? Did you really give it if it's so hard for people to understand? Why is it that later on we clearly understood it, but at the beginning it was so hard to get your point?
You were looking for a certain
we were looking for a certain sentiment, not a certain specific answer. We were looking for a certain way, like just like how he laid it out perfectly. It's something that where it was like, you know what? I may look bad, but it's who I was. I learned from it, and now I won't bring that into the next relationship. That's what we were looking for. It wasn't, we were looking for one specific answer, and that's exactly what happened at the end. And it conveyed, like you said, you see how the chat totally changed once that started happening.
Yeah, once you're
it was easy. Yeah, it was easily understood because it was conveyed in a way that I didn't understand it. Y'all knew what y'all were talking about, but then y'all start talking about the way men understand it. And it was like, okay, we see what you're saying.
Yeah, and I think it's important to point out that when you communicate to each other, we interpret things differently.
Mm-hmm.
So men, we're more rational. So sometimes when you communicate certain things, we're gonna interpret it in a very rational sentiment. And also, as men, we understand that you guys are a lot into your emotions. So when we convey things, we also have to take that in consideration. But if both parties just ignore that, that's why sometimes we get confused when we have these conversations.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. So
be wording sometimes too. Right?
Yeah.
Like we answer shit accordingly. So
right. We're answering it very specifically about how you worded it. Right.
Yeah.
So if you say, what role did I play in a failed relationship? We're going to think about a failed relationship.
What I played in it.
Exactly. So we're going to be like, oh, I chose this man. I ignored boundaries. I did this. We're not going to be like, oh, I bleached his clothes. Like,
like you
know what I'm saying?
You want specific answers out of us. Specifically word the question to where maybe we understand or not, because we don't have to understand it the way, or we don't have to answer it the way that you want us to, just for it to be like a good, like we're still going to answer it.
That's why I adjusted.
Yeah. And you know what?
We changed it to about being his piece. That's really what
I received that because I was asking it the way a man would understand it. Every dude knew exactly the way I meant it, and so did Will. It was so I was asking it in a way a man would understand it, and you are absolutely right. I needed to have phrased it in a way more specific to get
so I would see that in a way where you guys would understand. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think the questions, because I feel like it was like an umbrella effect. I think that just peeling back the layers kind of revealed that also.
Yeah.
Like the more that you ask, the more
shared.
easier it was.
Yeah. Women need a lot more context to a lot of stuff because they think deeper than men. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, that's true. All right,
So,
David.
All right, ladies.
Shout out to
Will,
David.
a pleasure.
Thank you,
rocking with y'all. I'll see y'all later.
All right. But the ladies, we have come to the end. And shout out to the panel of the ladies, all you guys. Thank you so much for making the time. We have come to the end. Shout out to everybody in the live chat. I always appreciate your support in the live chat. Thank you, Damon, for all the donations and for your time jumping on as a guest. And I see Bree Jefferson. Yeehaw. I don't know who that is.
Cousin.
Oh.
She said, hey, y'all.
He said,
hey, y'all.
All right. So, that's my man. That's my man interpreting. Like I told you guys before, man.
I can see that.
Man, we interpret things rationally.
You did a whole cut.
Literally.
I was just thinking about cattle for some reason.
We in a hoedown right now.
It's so funny because when he said it, my brain morphed it to that. Like I saw, hey y'all.
I was like,
wait.
Hold on.
And I saw Joe Primacio. Hey, we saw Joe, and I saw Sophisticated Jerk. Hey, good to see you guys on the live chat. Thank you so much. 2222. See you in the live chat. Appreciate you guys. As always, if you find value on the content, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you want to support me, the best way to support me is on my locals. The link is in the description below. As always, thank you so much for always tuning in. We do this every single Saturday, so make sure you guys like and subscribe so you get notifications when we do go live. Next time, ladies, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on here, making the time, having the conversation about accountability. That's a hard one. That's a hard conversation to have. for both women. So ultimately, my ultimate goal for the podcast is always, you guys always watch, is always to find a solution and make sure we bring people together, because I truly believe this, and I said this to Damien, men and women are better together than apart. All right.
Definitely.
All right, definitely. So, but anyways, shout out to you guys. But ladies, what's your final thoughts from tonight's conversation? Any takeaways you want to share from tonight's conversation? And if you want to share your socials, you know, if you want to give yourself a plug for your socials, and I know there's a lot of single men on here, so they would definitely appreciate to reach out to you. I'll start with you, Shamari, and we go around the panel. Final thoughts, and how can people find you?
It was just good conversation, like we said earlier before we started. You know, good conversation, good comprehension, getting to know other people's perspectives, and being able to communicate and learn from each other's experiences in life is awesome. My Instagram is XIAMARI.Jade, JADE.
Okay, thank you, Shamari. Appreciate you guys. All right, we'll keep it moving. Final thoughts, and how can people find you?
Experience. Loved you guys. Loved the vibes. It was my first time, so
You killed it.
I had fun. It was good talking to y'all. So
Thank you.
And socials, want to share your socials or no?
Nah, because my man would kill everybody. Nah, but on a serious note, you know, I would love to share my Instagram with you ladies.
Yeah,
absolutely. Because hopefully we could be able to come do this again.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, wait, run it back.
_eyes, EBONI_EYZZE.
Okay. We can definitely run it back. All right. Thank you so much. We'll keep it moving. Final thoughts, and how can people find you?
I had a great time with you guys. It was a pleasure being here. I am not on social media right now, so yeah.
That's a good thing.
I'm taking a break.
Like, that's a good thing.
Yeah. I'm not gonna give it out because I'm not on it. So it's deactivated.
Okay.
So
I'll just say, if a man finds you value giving out socials, hey, give up to him.
We don't need no new friends over here. But thanks.
Still count.
I definitely love this. I was very nervous. This is my first time also. I don't normally like the spotlight, so this was definitely something new for me to do. Definitely out of my comfort zone. But I do love networking and just connecting and learning different perspectives, just learning in general. I always love learning from other people's, experiences, I'll say. So I love this. I definitely would do it again. If you do want to find me, you can find me on Instagram, Candace Conquers, and that's Candace with an A, not an I.
Okay.
CANDACE. So.
All right. Thank you so much. Keep it moving. Clorox. I'm just joking. I think that chat's gonna forever remember you. Forever. They'll remember you next time you come on. Oh, Clorox is here.
But for real, this is actually my first time on a podcast. So
really,
yes. But it was interesting hearing all these ladies' perspectives on dating, or where they're at in their lives with dating, or not even wanting to date or opening up. Even kind of, hearing a little chitter chatter on live as well, and kind of talking to Damien as well. Yeah, my Instagram is ITS_the Gina White. And that's Gina with a G, because a lot of people spell it with a J. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you so much.
What are we saying? Or
Final thoughts, and how can people find you?
I really enjoyed this. I like how we were able to all have our different perspectives, all hear each other. And yeah, I would love to do this type of stuff again. People always be like, you should start a podcast, because I talk hella shit on Facebook. But it was fun to actually do it. But my Instagram is XIRIXSEVEN. Sorry, 7.
All right, thank you. Last but not least, Kiki.
This was fun. I think for the next one, or like just for the future, all the questions that you be asking us, I want like you to answer them right after we answer them. Too. So we can hear your perspective on the questions
That's
too. And it's not
interesting.
just so, well, women.
That's
well, what about
interesting
this?
how
What
the
about this?
question
'Cause I want to
is-
hear the men's true perspective as well.
Oh yeah.
On their end, not just
counter
trying to get things out of us or Yeah. You can find me on Instagram at Kiki's Love, skincare Kiki with eyes, not E's, and also Kiki's Creative Hands.
All right. Thank you so much.
Wait, I just realized that is so true. The question is who lacks accountability, men or women? But
You feel me?
all the questions were about
It was
women
targeted
being
towards
accountable.
us.
So the question, the
You
answer is
answered the
men.
motherfucking
The
question.
answer is men.
Hey.
We came to a conclusion, y'all.
Listen. You guys are all welcome to ask me questions, right?
Oh,
The
Oh,
same
now
question
that
that
we
we
can.
can.
We answered at the end.
If you want to ask a question, you can ask. You can
The
always
same
ask a
question that we can.
Okay, yeah.
No.
We got you next time.
No, you got me. Yeah. Like I said, I'm always open. But ladies, as always, thank you so much for making the time. I definitely appreciate you guys making the time to be part of the conversation and to navigate this. And as always, thank you so much, everybody in the live chat. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We get notified for the next time, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace, y'all.
Bye.
Bye. Peace.